FHSA state championships are presented by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, reminding you to buckle up, Georgia, as we welcome you back to Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the Class 1A Division II championship as the reigning champion Boughton Red Devils take on the Manchester Blue Devils. And good evening, I'm Matt Stewart, joined by former Auburn Tigers All-American, NFL first-round draft pick, and 15-year pro Wayne Gandy. And Wayne, the celebratory mood of the state finals has been replaced by loss and tragedy. Manchester reserve tight end and defensive lineman Brandon Smith was reported missing by his coach on Saturday. Unfortunately, yesterday he was discovered dead. The GPI and Manchester Police Department are investigating the circumstances of his death. The team has decided to play the game. We would not have faulted them had they decided not to play the game, but because they have, we will endeavor to call the game with as much enthusiasm and passion as we can in the midst of this devastating news. Now, you as a player throughout college and the pros face not exact but similar circumstances. How did you and your team handle that?
Well, Matt, a situation like this is just different, especially when you talk about high school, small community. At that age, these are your core friends, your lifetime memories. So it hits a little different. When you talk about trying to deal with emotions for this community, it's not just that young Smith is part of the team. He's part of that community. It's family. This is your family that you carry through life. This team already, round of applause for showing up to try to play tonight in this game. How they control their emotions will be the biggest key to trying to bring home a victory. Well,
an absolute unspeakable tragedy, and we will endeavor to do our best here. Nikki Noto Palmer is down on the sideline. She has more on this story.
Matt, Wayne, you know, when we spoke this week to Coach Holmes, well, he was very, very proud to speak about his chaplain, Pastor Rob. He's been with the team since 2008. And I caught up with Pastor Rob outside of the locker room just a little bit earlier, and I asked what the message was to his team, and here's what he told me. First of all, he said, this is a resilient bunch, and we have been running towards adversity all season long. So naturally, he brought up the story of David and Goliath. He said, we have been David all season long. Now, with the passing of Brandon and competing in less than 36 hours in the state title game is in fact Goliath. Pastor Rob emphasized to them how resilient they are on and off the field, that they have a future on and off the field, and to take that to heart, not just for tonight, but in fact for forever. And tonight you saw how they honored Brandon by wearing a 52 sticker on their helmet. Defensive coordinator Devontae Prather, well, he will be wearing his white jersey this evening. You saw his teammates walk the blue jersey out to the 50-yard line earlier. Matt, Wayne, here's the thing. Grief and joy, it can coexist. The team is grieving their teammate, but there is joy to be celebrated in knowing Brandon is a part of this story. The community is rallying around this tragedy. This is a big game, the biggest game in 30 years for this community. The grief, the joy, it's coexisting tonight out there on the football field for this town of Manchester.
Well said, Nikki. And there's head coach Stephen Holmes in his third season as the head coach, and how ironic that the greatest moment so far in his high school football career also comes at the same time of his most devastating moment as a high school football coach.
And as a head coach, trying to get and motivate these young men to be able to do things on and off the field, and that's the big key for Coach Holmes and his staff tonight. Where can they lay their head and get this team to try to focus and win this game?
Well, Manchester won the toss. They have deferred, so that means we will see the Red Devils on offense to start this game. Jack Underwood has it teed up and ready to go for Manchester. And Devon Powell and Jordan Beasley standing deep. Opening kick is brought to you by Buckle Up Georgia. Buckle Up Georgia, seatbelts save lives. And the return out to the 27-yard line, and that's where the Red Devils will put the ball in play for the first time today and their spectacular quarterback who just returned the opening kick, Kyler McGrin, 1,900 yards passing, 1,965 yards rushing. He has a chance to become just the second quarterback in state history to go over 2,000 rushing and passing in the same season. Got a great chance to do that here today.
Definition of a two-way player right there, returning kickoffs, returns punt. This young man right here is the embodiment of that young generation of being able to throw the ball and run the ball.
And the opening handoff goes to Jordan Beasley. Beasley, their 1,300-yard rusher, up to the 31-yard line on the carry as we take a look at the Red Devils on offense. Powell, Vilsaint, Edwards, Vilsaint and Harden, those are brothers. And Beasley, Akins, Daniel Prothro, who is a big-time prospect already as a 10th grader at 6'6", 200 pounds.
Watch for Kyler McGrin in this offense, explosive. If you're Manchester, you have to keep an eye on them two all night long.
2nd down and 6. Beasley gets the carry, and Beasley has the first down. Up to the 39-yard line goes Jordan Beasley.
Nice job on that right side over there with Simons and Harden pulling right there out in the open, kick out block. Jordan Beasley comes into this game with over 1,300 yards rushing himself. Very capable senior back, 6'1", 195.
1st and 10, ball at the 39-yard line for the Red Devils.
A lot of motions early on in this game, trying to make this Blue Devil defense stink.
McGrin gonna run it, follows Beasley to the edge, and McGrin gets tripped up and dives forward to the 45-yard line. Picks up 6 on the play as we take a look at Manchester on defense. It's brought to you by Regions Bank. And Justice Terry, the junior, wearing number 70, is rated as high as the number 2 defensive lineman in the country for 2025.
Big physical, 6'5", 275, just hard to beat up front.
There's a look at the secondary with Alford, Bryant, and Terry. 2nd down carry for Beasley as he's tripped up and falls forward. Going to bring up a 3rd down and short for the Red Devils. 12-2 on the season.
Big penetration there by Terry already in this game, and he's just monster sized. A big job for this offensive line tonight.
6'5", 275-pound junior. Committed to the Georgia Bulldogs last January 16th. While he was still a sophomore. Kyler McGrin, 6'1", 198 senior, facing 3rd down and 3. Handoff goes to Beasley, has the first down as he pulls his way down to the 46-yard line.
Nice job there by the center, Jackson Edwards, able to control that penetration right there on that block down. Nice job of getting that edge there on Revel. And Jordan Beasley, what a load he is. He's about 200 pounds, 6'1". You can see even from this advantage, he's a solid guy, especially from the waist down.
Has 6 offers, including Middle Tennessee State, Georgia State, and Marshall. So 1st and 10 for the Red Devils from the 45, and Beasley gets it again. Been a steady dose of Jordan Beasley to start this game.
This is how this Bowden offense, they're methodical. When you look at the numbers, they love to just run downhill, get behind these big running backs, pound the ball at you with this offensive line.
5 carries, 26 yards for Beasley to start the game. McGrin going to keep it this time, and McGrin going to be a yard short of the first down as he muscles his way to the 37. Wayne, let's take a look at your Breda Pest Management keys to the game when the Red Devils have the ball.
When you're looking at this Bowden offense, establish the run, as you can see in this drive. That's what they want to be able to do. That sets up the play action pass. And for Manchester, as we see in this drive, trying to stop the run. They make their money, Bowden, by running the ball with Beasley and McGrin. Can you have great success on first down and shut down the run?
You got 2 wide receivers stacked up here at the top of your screen. McGrin going to run it instead. And he's down to the 32-yard line as McGrin picks up another first down for Bowden. So they've been very good at doing exactly what they said they wanted to do, and that's control the game with the ground game.
These are no jet sweeps. These are just nice kick out block there by Beasley. Nice falling forward by McGrin. These are mainly in the box runs. They're trying to wear this defensive front of Manchester down.
1st and 10, ball at the 32. And the officials step in. I think it's a chain issue. Wayne, it comes again. We don't have a game without a chain issue.
A current film. I think we're on like Lethal Weapon. What are we on? Chain number 5 movie. It's a chain thing for us this year.
Had to get the kink worked out of the chain. It didn't break. We've had some breakage this year, but this is just a kink in the chain, I think. And they're trying to get that thing fixed. I think they have done it. So 1st and 10, ball at the 32 for the Red Devils. Great start to this game. Bowden, from the standpoint is that, they're following the script. They're doing exactly what they said they wanted to do. McGrin going to keep it again, and McGrin gets grabbed by Jaden Revel, the defensive end. And that's a pickup of maybe 3 on the play. McGrin does a good job of falling forward.
Yeah, you see him running behind his pads. It may be more of a natural running back than a passer, but very capable of taking over. As his numbers states, he comes in the game averaging more rush yards than passing the ball.
Well, he has said he wants to play wherever he gets the opportunity, whether that's as a running back or a cornerback, whatever the case may be. He just wants to continue playing football at the next level. Out of the shotgun snap, going to dive forward, another chunk of yards off the legs of Kyler McGrin.
And these runs are exactly what Coach Finley wants right here. Good blocking up front, nice block out on the edge by Prothro, the receivers, Vickers, the tight end. Everybody gets into this running game. It truly becomes a game of 11 on 11. I know a lot of people here 9 on 7. The way that McGrin is able to run the ball, this is an 11 on 11 challenge for this Manchester defense.
And this is the 11th play of this current drive to start the game. Beasley going to get the rock again, come to the short side and take a loss on the play. First time that the Blue Devils defense has been able to come up with a big play. That was Darius Favors with the tackle.
Nice job right here by the Blue Devils of funneling this to the outside. No crease right there. You can see your Justice Terry taking up 3 men, forcing Beasley to bounce to the outside and clean up work there by Darius Favors.
So here you go, 4th down, and they're going for it. They've already chewed up over 6 minutes of the game clock to start this game. 4th and 4 from the 27. Keeper McGrin, and he's going to get there with a power run by Kyler McGrin to convert on 4th down.
Nice job on that left side. Powell, Van Zant, the blocking up front, no penetration. And then McGrin just running behind the pass right there. And you can see in these runs, as he finishes the run, he looks more running back than quarterback. You got to start attacking him and play physical with more of a mindset of a running back and not the quarterback position.
6 carries, 29 yards for McGrin. Beasley has 6 carries as well. They just continue to pound the rock. We're looking at possibly a 15-plus play drive if they're able to complete this thing. What a way to start the game.
A true methodical running downhill, running behind your pads. No flea flickers, no zone, no jet sweep flipping the ball. These are just in the box power run game.
Richard Finley, their head coach, 52-22 his record. Manchester calls a timeout just to catch their breath. It's been all Bowden, and I mean, they're the only team that's touched the ball yet. We'll step aside.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is presented by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, reminding you to be safe on every trip. Buckle up, Georgia.
Sweetheart, please don't forget to wear your seatbelt.
I got it, Mom.
It's a really nice day, living in the right space. Breathing your grace, got me feeling some kind of way.
In the blink of an eye, so many tomorrows can disappear. Buckle up for your future, every trip, every time. A message from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
High school seniors, your Georgia Match letters have been mailed and the possibilities are endless. Visit your student dashboard on gafutures.org to see which of the 45 colleges and universities made your list and claim your spot today.
This is my family. Everyone on my team knows that we're going to fight, we're going to be relentless, we're going to be aggressive, and we're going to be determined to get a great result. Mabra Law.
Kennesaw State University.
Come over here.
Back in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Bowden in the midst of a 13-play drive to start this game. And Wayne, they've driven all the way to the 16-yard line.
Running the ball.
No passes.
No passes, downhill, physical run game with McGrin and Beasley. We expect it on the other side of the ball with Manchester. They run that wing T, but this Bowden team has come out here with a purpose. Regardless who's in the game, they are running the ball, and they're trying to wear this defense out.
Drive started at their own 27. They have taken 7 minutes and 15 seconds off the clock. It's 2nd down and 6. McGrin gonna run it again. Gonna squirm his way down to the 12-yard line. Justice Terry in on that tackle. Gonna be 3rd and short coming up for Bowden.
And a nice decision there by McGrin. He saw the pressure there of Favors and Gray coming off the edge. He quickly received the ball and got up inside before those ends could crash on him to gain those couple of yards.
Big Justice Terry committed to Georgia over 4 other offers. Only 4 offers because he was a 10th grader when he committed to the Bulldogs. His highest ranking, ESPN 5-star, number 2 rated defensive lineman in the entire country for the class of 2026. And again, a steady dose of Kyler McGrin moves the sticks again, and they'll have it 1st and goal to go.
Nice job of knowing where the sticks are right there by McGrin, getting the ball, one cut up inside there, inside all of the bodies. And this is just the way they couldn't have asked for the Red Devils a better start to the game.
The drive is now 8 minutes long. McGrin going to spin forward and down to the 6-yard line. That was Javon C.J. Favors, the inside linebacker who got to him first.
Nice job here. A little fake there to Beasley. Nice job of Favors working throughout the traffic and being able to bring McGrin down. But even on that, you saw McGrin falling forward, running behind his pads. 6'1", 200-pound senior.
17th play of the drive. Beasley gets the rock. Beasley dives down close to the goal line and down at the 1. I don't know that I've ever seen a drive, an 18-play drive to open the game.
Double team right there by the right guard and right tackle, John Harden, securing that block on Justice Terry and falling forward right there is Jordan Beasley.
3rd and goal from the 1. McGrin pulls his way into the end zone, and Bowden caps an 18-play drive that chews up 9+ minutes off the clock, all of it. All 18 plays on the ground, and the Red Devils have a 6-0 lead.
True bully ball right here. Double teams on that right side, just driving their feet into the end zone. Jordan Beasley, the big senior running back, getting into the end zone.
Wow, what a play. McGrin, 31st touchdown run of the season. He has accounted now for 55 touchdowns this year, passing and throwing, passing and running. Brandon Jones is on for the PAT. And the kick is up and good, a 7-0 lead for Bowden.
What a drive by the Red Devils. And if you're on the other side of the field, you keep telling yourself they're going to drop back and throw a pass. They're just not going to continue in 2023. They have to be setting up something down the field. But no, with this O-line and this quarterback who's able to fall forward in McGrin, wow, what a drive.
And McGrin is now over 2,000 yards rushing for the season as we check in with Nikki Noto-Palmer.
Hey there, Matt. Well, you know, this week when we talked to Coach Finley, he is a state champion weightlifting coach. And so we asked him, how did that role prepare you for this job? And he simply said, you can take a bunch of athletic kids and do speed training. You can work them to death on speed, but that ceiling is small. He said, we're going to take some athletic and non-athletic kids and bust it in the weight room. There's a higher ceiling to get better and stronger. He said, we made that decision to be tough, physical kids. He said, hey, this is what we're going to do. It's going to help you on the field. Since then, they have won 4 meets at Bowden since he took over. He said, our football mental toughness side is made from January to August. We've got a tough schedule, a tough strength program, and that's where we get bigger and stronger. Matt Wayne, this game just started. You're only going to see physicality from this Bowden team.
Wayne, look at Coach Finley on the sideline. I want him on my side. Whatever it is we're doing, I want him on my side, and I'm standing behind him. Guy's a beast. Kick bounces down to the 31, and the Blue Devils will fall on it right there. And after over 9 minutes, Manchester finally gets to touch the ball.
And the one thing about that drive by Bowden, it wore down the defense, and several of those players now have to go and try to play offense. So it worked twofold for them. A very physical, setting the tone for this game.
Well, as Wayne mentioned, this is Manchester. Darius Bryant, their quarterback. The passing numbers, not a big deal. Over 1,000 yards rushing, though. They run the wing T. So you know what that means. We're getting ready to see more running of the football. We might have a whole quarter here where no one throws a pass. And nothing doing as they give the ball to Darius Favors on the very first play. And Big Z, they call him Big Z, Zatavian Vilsaint with the tackle.
5'9", 250, playing with great leverage right here. Watch number 50 beating the center there. Ledbetter. Great job, great get off the ball right there for that tackle for a loss.
67 tackles on the season for Vilsaint, 4 TFL.
Looks like he's been in the weight room with Coach Finley.
Looks like he ate the weight room. He's so big. And going back to that story.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Theron Adams is our referee, and here's a look at the rest of the crew working this Class 1A D2 championship. But going back to the weight room story, and Coach Finley, as Nikki pointed out, 4-time state champion, heavyweight, heavy lifting, weightlifting champion. And Kyler McGrin's his workout partner. The quarterback is his workout partner in the weight room.
Coach looks like he's already had a set in already.
I was going to say he got a pump in before they took the field. Ball is loose. Bowden's on top of it at the 23-yard line. Jamichael Jones, the free safety, comes up with the fumble recovery.
Trying to get the ball out on the edge here to Quavion Cooper. Just not able to secure the pitch right there. You can see Kentrez late with the penetration. Number 10 comes in your screen, and out the corner of his eye right there, just not able to rally that ball in. Big time turnover there for Bowden.
So ball goes over to the Red Devils, already leading 7-0, and they have it at the Blue Devils 23. Not the start they were looking for. Bowden, of course, state championships 3 times in their history, including last year. McGrin gonna throw a pass in the middle, and it's caught inside the 5. Caden Prothro with the touchdown.
Caden Prothro, 6'6", 200 pounds, out on the edge. The young sophomore, what a big future he has. Nice pocket to throw from right there. Tip ball there by Darius Favors. Concentration on the tip drill by the big receiver, pro throw. And in that situation right there, Alford, the safety, is just not going to stop a big man like him from getting in the end zone.
Brandon Jones, PAT. The ball is placed down by the holder, Berkeley Perkins, and it's good. 14-0. Bowden jumped on top of Manchester here in the first quarter.
Play action fake here by McGrin. Nice job trying to go up and knock it down by Favors. And as they say on that tip drill there by Caden Prothro, focus and concentration, bringing the ball in and getting into the end zone.
22-yard touchdown reception, 13th touchdown catch of the season. As we take a look at the Bowden Red Devils resume, it is presented by DBHDD. 12-2 overall this season. The region champs only play 2 region games. Region 7 1A D2 champs. Number 3 in the regular season GPB top 10. 3 state titles, 71, 92, and 2022, and they are 3-2 all time in this, their 6th state final. And for a wing T offense, this is the last thing you want to be, down 2 scores. Well, you never want to be down 2 scores, but when you got a passing offense, it's a little bit more palatable. Ball returned up to the 37-yard line. And that's where the Blue Devils will go on offense for the 2nd time.
Now if you're Manchester, you had to settle down, rally in. Right now, you're on the ropes. Bowden is throwing those haymakers. They took you on a physical 18-play scoring drive to open the game up. A lot of the players having to play both ways. You got to kind of just settle down, take it one play at a time, and execute your offense.
Manchester's 1-0 state championship came back in 1997, defeated Irwin County 28-7 in the state final that year. Running the wing T, they're going to get a couple of yards on the play. That was Quavion Cooper on the run. As we take a look at the Manchester offense, it's brought to you by Regions Bank, and you see big Justice Terry up there playing the left guard position today. And the rest of the backs and the receivers, Favors and Cooper, along with the quarterback Bryant, they're all 1,000-yard rushers.
Very capable backs with Favors and Cooper. They have put up big numbers running the ball, coming the game with over 3,700 yards rushing.
And Blake Cooper gets the ball, and Cooper is going to get slung down at the 42-yard line.
Jordan Beasley right there from that safety position coming up, getting some jersey there of Cooper. Maybe horse collar on that play. The ball didn't really see his hand up around his neck area. Let's see where the ball at. Well, yeah, right there at the end, you see that left hand grab the back of that collar.
Call tackle on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
And initially, you saw him grab the lower part of that 4, and then that left hand got up into those pads. That is the right call right there.
And if I'm not mistaken, we have Dave Reynolds, our rules official, up here. Grabbing the jersey from behind and pulling a player down from behind in any capacity could actually qualify as a horse collar, could it not?
Absolutely. We want that nameplate to be grabbed and then that force pull the runner down to the ground. So good call right there for horse collar tackle.
So ball at the 43-yard line. It's 1st and 10 for Manchester, moving it for the first time tonight. Not going anywhere like that, they're not. That was a run by Benji Kempson, and big-time tackle by the Red Devils.
Malachi Vickers, 24, one of those small but powerful D linemen. Quick off the ball, only 5'10", 220. More of a linebacker playing D line, but Phil Saint and Vickers play with great leverage and great energy inside.
Might be the final play of the first quarter right here, as it's going to be 2nd down from the 45. Bryant throwing on the run and incomplete, looking for his target at the 39-yard line. As we take a look at the Red Devils on defense, 5-man front, old school football right there. You saw Vickers just made the tackle a few moments ago, and Big Z Vilsaint there at that nose tackle position. Linebacking core, you got McGrin, who's their leading tackler, and Kyler's younger brother. And then you go Beasley in the backfield. He's got college offers at running back and playing strong safety. I love what both these coaches said.
Timeout. Bowden.
Wow, that's really a strange timeout. I mean, they don't control the clock because there's 5 seconds left in the first quarter, but they burn a timeout with just 5 seconds left in the first. Must have seen something that really bothered them to burn the timeout there.
3rd and long, want to make sure everybody is lined up. You've done great work to push this wing T offense into a down where they will have to throw the ball. Want to get them to the side, make sure they're lined up. You got all the momentum. Don't want someone to go free for Manchester and complete and make this 3rd and long.
Let's take a look at the Breda Pest Management keys to the game for the Blue Devils when they have the ball.
When you run this kind of offense, you have to be clean. You have to be penalty free, and that's what Manchester is trying to do to try to get this win. Can they stay ahead of the sticks? And for Bowden, read your keys. Your linebackers, your ends have to make sure they're reading the right key on those triple option fakes so you can try to slow down this wing T offense.
So 5 seconds, you see Coach Richard Finley. He and Stephen Holmes were running buddies back in the day, earlier in their career when Finley was the head coach at Alexander for a couple of seasons. They connected early as Coach Holmes was actually coming out of college and Finley was already a young assistant coach, and they've been friends ever since. The run for a first down. Great run by Darius Bryant. Just keeping his balance and weaving through the traffic. That was the final play of the first quarter.
Nice job getting to the edge, showing the athletic ability there by Bryant.
1 quarter in the books at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Bowden on top, 14-0.
While we've got a quick break in the action, did you know that the same area of just one football field can contain up to 95 termite colonies? That's why you need Breda Pest Management to defend your home. Breda, the official pest control of high school football.
Only in Cartersville, Bartow. 3 Smithsonian-affiliated museums, Barnsley Resort, and an authentic downtown full of unique restaurants and shops. The perfect destination for a memorable staycation, only in Cartersville, Bartow.
Half of the nation's opioid overdoses happen right at home because people don't understand the dangers of taking an Oxy or Perk with a glass of alcohol for stress or to sleep. Learn how to protect your family from opioid overdose at opioidresponse.info.
All right, what do you think, Jasper?
Honestly, I think that polyester shirt's affecting your game.
What?
I think cotton would have been a better choice.
Cotton?
Yeah, it's come a long way, you know. Nowadays, cotton breathes and makes moisture great. Plus, buying cotton means supporting Georgia farmers. I think that's wonderful.
Okay, sure, but what do you think about the putt?
Oh, guess really hadn't thought about it.
This is my family. Everyone on my team knows that we're going to fight, we're going to be relentless, we're going to be aggressive, and we're going to be determined to get a great result. Mabra Law.
Start of the second quarter at the Benz. Bowden on top of Manchester, 14-0 here in the Class 1A Division II Championship. Coach Richard Finley, his Red Devils, looking to repeat as champions. Out to the 2-touchdown lead. Matt Stewart, Wayne Gandy, Nikki Noto-Palmer. Thanks for joining us here as we play the final game of day number 1. And you see the whopping time of possession for Bowden in that opening quarter, Wayne.
Big drive for them. Physical play is what has been key for them in this game so far. That last pickup on 3rd and 12 by Bryant was big. Not only to keep the ball moving, but to keep this team, this defensive team on the sideline and so they can catch their breath.
Well, it looks like they've overcome the shock and awe of that opening drive and then fumbling on their first possession, giving Bowden a short field for their second touchdown. They finally look like they've gained a rhythm in this wing T offense.
Starting to see those blue jerseys insert themselves up front playing on Bowden's side of the ball in these last couple of snaps.
Second time they played this season. Handoff goes, and a short game flag goes out, so we know this is probably going to be holding in there. But we'll check the call. Second time they played, they actually opened the season against each other, with Manchester beating Bowden 21-20.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. We play second down.
And we just talked about this with Manchester. Can't have these kind of penalties when you run this kind of offense. You got to stay ahead of the sticks. Good penetration there by the Red Devils, Dylan Akins. Number 59. 54 right there. Ledbetter, the center, with the holding.
That's going to back them up to the 30-yard line.
Please reset the Glenn clock to 11:18.
Coach Stephen Holmes, his third season as the Blue Devils head coach after a long run as an assistant coach. Finally got that opportunity. He's done a heck of a job with this Blue Devils program that has just one state title in its 85 years, but they are back on the map in Class Single A. That was Cooper on the run, gets shoved out of bounds. Going to bring up third down and long.
Kentrez Lay, the DN, nice job of him. The 6'1", 215 senior, of just stringing that play out. That's what you have to do at the point of attack out on the edge. Make sure that those plays have to bounce to the outside so your other teammates can rally to the ball.
It's third down and 9 with the ball sitting on the 28. Manchester desperately needs to get at least half of it here because they're probably in 4-down territory. Up top they go. Man breaks open, and it is going to be caught for the touchdown. Jaden Terry comes down with a 28-yard reception. I wasn't sure at first whether he had retained possession to the ground, but he did, and it's 14-6.
Only his fourth reception of the season is Terry. Nice job here, Bryant, airing it out, leading the receiver on the post route. A little rollout, get the ball, lead the receiver. Devin Powell never right there, number 7, can get back in the play. Nice execution on that by Bryant, and a great catch there by Jaden Terry.
Just the 4th touchdown pass of the season for Darius Bryant. Underwood on for the PAT, and he chips it up and in, and it's 14-7. Who said the Blue Devils couldn't throw the ball?
Roll out to the left here, set your feet, lead the receiver. Beautiful ball there by Bryant. Nice job of Terry going up at the height of this pass and bringing it down right there. Cornerback trying to pull it out. Strong hands, able to hold on to the ball for the touchdown.
They might want to rethink this passing thing, because you're right. Bryant had a great spin on that ball, and a super job by Jaden Terry, the sophomore, to go back up and high point it to bring it in for the score.
And this Manchester team has kind of withstood the storm in that first quarter. Got some rhythm in that drive, caught their breath. They come in this game playing with a lot of emotion, a lot on their shoulders for their fallen Conrad. And now they have made it to this point a game that they can be able to stick with their offense and play with Bowden.
There's your Governor's Red Ribbon campaign scoring drive. 9 plays, 63 yards for Manchester. And Underwood now set to kick off. Not a whole lot of anticipation. This ball is going to be kicked deep. The deep men are standing at the 20. It's going to back them up to the 15 where it's caught. And return up the sideline to the 32-yard line for the Red Devils. And that was Powell. That's where Bowden's going to put the ball back in play.
Now, whether this Blue Devil defense, they see that this Bowden offense is very capable of running the ball right at them. Now they're going to have to step up, try to get some penetration up front. They do have size with Terry and Cash White in the middle, but they're going to have to get downhill and try to stop this run game of McGrin and Beasley.
First and 10, ball is at the 33. Saw the numbers on McGrin already, 66 yards of offense in this game. Gonna run it right there and pick up maybe 3 yards and no more than that on the play.
Good job there by Gray coming up to make that play. Now, if you Blue Devils, you have to keep your eye on a guy like Caden Prothro. The way they're running the ball, it really sets up easy one-on-one matchups with him out on the edge to be able to throw the ball deep.
There's nobody split out wide on the play. McGrin gonna run and get knocked down. Great play by Cooper, playing both sides of the ball. It was great talking to these two coaches, and both coaches were kind of adamant, Wayne, that this is real football. These are guys, they play both ways.
Able to get to the outside, but nice job of Cooper, the starting tailback, maybe the toughest guy on Manchester, even though he's the smallest right there, fighting, getting into that leg area of McGrin to bring him down.
Not like those 7A guys who, platoon and only play offense and defense. Our guys are real football players. They go both ways, and I love it. I love that aspect of the single A game. 3rd down and 6. Throwing on the run and picked at the 39-yard line. Taking it back the other way, Jaden Terry, who had a touchdown catch just a few moments ago, and the sophomore playing big in the bench.
Right here, just a mistake by Kyler McGrin. He steps up into the pocket. Feeling the pressure, tries to air the ball out right there. Couldn't get anything on it, trying to get the ball down the field to Perkins. And a nice break on the ball by Terry for the interception.
Manchester right back in business, Wayne. They have the ball at the 25-yard line, 1st and 10.
Execution, clean football for the Blue Devils is what they need to continue to have success. But you feel a little momentum shift in this game right now. This Manchester team seems to be on balance and caught their breath.
1st and 10. They had the ball spotted at the 26 after the 37-yard interception return. Running that wing tee and that inside handoff, that scissors play. I love that thing. I love that offense.
A lot of confusion right here. Dylan Akins, the junior outside linebacker, reading his key, staying home, able to make that play for the Red Devil.
2nd down and 9 coming up. 8.5 minutes now under that to play here in the first half. And you were thinking when they go down 14-0, maybe it's just all the things that have happened, just too much for this team. But this Manchester has come back with great passion and emotion. Got a chance to tie it up on this possession. Great run right there by Darius Favors, another one of their 1,000-yard rushers.
The bigger pack of the three here. Favors, the young sophomore, getting out on the edge here, showing you the speed, finishing the run, and I'm not sure right there. No face mask. It looked like possibly by Derek Phillips, a little face mask, but good tackle by the young cornerback.
He is a big back too. You mentioned it. He's got the size at 6 foot 195. That was an 11-yard pickup. Right up the middle, Cooper dives forward inside the 10 to the 9.
Manchester flipping the page here on Bowden, starting to get downhill, play physical. The numbers they put up coming into the game with 3 different backs, over 1,000-yard rushing, very capable of running the ball and executing this wing tee.
And their first touchdown in the state championship was on a pass. 3 1,000-yard rushers in their first touchdown on the touchdown pass to Jaden Terry.
And that's the thing when you're in a game like this, it's about executing. And as the head coaches, Coach Holmes, Coach Finley, you have to expect that in these 3rd, 4th, you get a couple of yards, set up a 4th and short, if not score, because how many possessions? When you run the ball, as both teams have shown, how many possessions in this game will you have in the red zone?
3rd down and 5. Cooper shoots right through the hole and scores the touchdown for Manchester.
Quavian Cooper, the spark plug, Mr. Excitement. Downhill, only 155. Great blocking up front right there by the O-line. White, Revel pulling, kicking out. Just nice execution. Big block over there by Lockhart and Terry as well on that left side.
At 5'7", 155, always one of the smallest guys on the field. But Coach Holmes says one of the toughest, too. Big run by Quavian Cooper. They call him Quay. We'll call this game tied.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Cigna Healthcare. Cigna Healthcare is a proud partner of Georgia Public Broadcasting and Football Fridays. Cigna Healthcare's mission is to improve the health and vitality of those we serve. Visit Cigna.com to learn how you can support your physical and emotional well-being. DBHDD and the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign is all about Georgians standing together for substance misuse prevention. Be kind to your mind. Live drug-free. Learn more about healthy alternatives and living a drug-free lifestyle at garedribbon.org.
This program on GPB is made possible in part by supporters of the Georgia High School Association, including the following.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Georgia. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the GHSA.
Over here.
Coach Holmes told us this week that he told his team they need to finish the deal. He said he used the word finish because this is it. This is the last game. And with the Jaden Terry and Quavian Cooper touchdowns, well, the Blue Devils, they have rallied and responded against Bowden.
There's no doubt they have regrouped when it looked like things were kind of bleak, and they're going to get away from them early here in this game, Wayne. They were able to regroup. That 37-yard interception turned out to be a really big play as well to set up that touchdown. The pass, that was Bowden actually. Bowden had the 37-yard interception to set up the second touchdown, but they've been able to rebound from that, Manchester, to get back in this game.
Gotten themselves some energy. We talked about the weight of them coming into this game and what they're dealing with. It took them a little while, but you can see the energy level has increased, and they're engaged into trying to win this game.
This is the fourth time these two teams have played over the last 2 years, so they have a rivalry going. Coach Holmes said we didn't plan it that way, but it's worked out that way as Bowden gets the return up to the 25-yard line, and that's where they're going to put the ball in play. Now in a tie game again.
Now with this Bowden team, can you get back to that physicality that you showed in that first drive when you went on that 18-play touchdown run? Can you play with that kind of physicality? In these last couple of drives, they've tried to throw the ball a little bit down the field. Go back to your identity. Run the ball. That's what you're great at. Set the tone, especially on first down, picking up 3 or 4 yards.
Stephen Holmes looks like a head coach right out of Central Casting over there, doesn't he? He looks like a high school coach just straight out of the movies. He's got it all going for him right there. Big time play as Beasley gets dropped right there in the line of scrimmage.
Score a touchdown, then go make a big tackle on one of their key players. That's what Quavian Cooper right here. A little slow to get to the line there by Beasley. And once again, coming off that edge from that outside linebacker spot is Cooper to make that play.
You don't need to be tippy-toeing up to the hole in this game. It's going to be 2nd down and 9. Grin going to follow Beasley this time and try to get outside. They're not going to let him. Great pursuit by this Manchester defense. Really getting after it now. That was Favors on the tackle.
Nice job starting to react a little better to these runs by the quarterback. Getting through all that traffic there is Darius Favors. physical, big linebacker, 6 foot, 200 pounds.
I know folks at home are saying, well, wait a second, didn't I see him running the ball? Now he's tackling? Yes, folks, this is single A football at its best.
Yeah, they're playing, they're all engaged. That's what you get when you get to this level. You get talented players that have to dominate on both sides of the ball.
3rd down and 7. McGrin 14 carries, 50 yards in this game. Rushing.
Timeout. Bowden.
A timeout called by Bowden. So if you're Coach Richard Finley, what's the message to your team? Because you jumped out, you got the big lead, looked like, man, this is going to be a great night, and all of a sudden you're back in a 14-14 fistfight.
This is going to be a 4-quarter game. This team, early in the season, they were able to beat you to start the season off. You get those couple of drives, you start thinking it's going to be easy tonight, and you can see right now the punches are going back at you. You got to settle down, execute your offense, and if you're running the ball, McGrin, Beasley, that first drive, it was easy. Now this defense is playing with energy. You got to be able to break a couple of tackles and make some plays.
See, Bowden had 73 yards on that opening drive, only 55 yards since. And their second touchdown was set up by that aforementioned interception. And now they're facing 3rd down and 7 coming out of the timeout with 5:33 to play in the half. A big opportunity here for the Blue Devils if they can get that stop to get the ball back. Wants to throw, heavy rush coming at him. They're setting up the screen for Beasley. Beasley going to clear the edge, but great closing speed on that play by Javon C.J. Favors.
Favors. Big linebackers, big speed here. C.J. Favors. Watch the closing speed by number 1 right here. You think Jordan Beasley is going to pick up that first down? No, sir. One comes out of the middle of the field to make that play.
4th down, and Chris Wyatt coming on the punt. You look at Favors and his numbers for the season: 91 tackles, 3 TFL, couple of picks, 16 PBU, and this will be the first punt of the game for either team. High snap. Wyatt gets it, kicks a line driver. It's going to be fielded on one hop at the 30. Watch out. Setting up an edge over there and driven out of bounds at the 49-yard line. 18-yard return, and a nice one at that by Darius Bryant, who, oh yeah, by the way, he's also the quarterback.
Matt, we got quarterbacks returning kickoffs. We got quarterbacks returning punts. It's all hands on deck in these kind of games, and this is the kind of talent that both sides have. Just playmakers, get these guys the ball any way you can.
Quarterbacks returning punts, quarterbacks returning kickoffs, quarterbacks playing defense, and not just playing defense, but starting on defense.
Starting and making plays. The running back running down people, the fullback making big hits in the hole. Just an exciting game. Early on, it looked like Bowden had the edge. Now all the momentum seems like it's in Manchester's pocket.
Iron Man football, 1st and 10 for Manchester from their own 49, and Cooper going to get stopped right there in the hole. No running room that time. Red Devils Jalen Simons rises to the occasion, stops him after a 1-yard pickup.
Nice penetration there by Simons, getting off the ball, getting down the line of scrimmage, reading his key. And that's big in a game like this because you have multiple backs faking as though they have the ball. So for D lineman, penetration and keeping his head up to make sure he's following the right runner.
2nd down and 9. Simons, by the way, is also starting right guard. And now when you're playing both ways and at the line of scrimmage, now that's really doing something right there. Flag down on the field as the carry by Kendarius Hines is first of the game. And we actually have 2 flags now. We have flags downfield, away from the tackle, back at the 35-yard line. So it looks to me, my guess is a wide receiver and a defensive back got mixed up in something down there.
The early flag being on the, looks like maybe on something for the pre-snap. was thrown right as the ball was snapped.
This Bowden team started off slow. They lost their first 2 games. Coach Finley admits probably a little bit of complacency after winning the state title.
Illegal shift on the offense, 5-yard penalty. Also, after the play, personal foul on the defense, personal foul on the offense. Those penalties offset. Replay second down.
Coach Finley says a little bit of complacency after winning that state title. Took them a while to get things going in their off-season conditioning program.
Spoke about his team, this team being a little more relaxed, not as intense, but he read his team. That's the kind of team he had after losing a lot of starters.
17
from last season. He replaced them with a lot of young players that hadn't played. They had more of a relaxed mentality to how they started, but once they hit the weight room, once they hit the field, they had that same intensity, and that's why they're here in the Benz tonight.
So they back it up to the 45. 2nd and 14. Want to throw it again. Bryant going up top, and it is caught in stride. Manchester has the lead. Jaden Terry, a 55-yard bolt of lightning to put the Blue Devils on top.
Darius Bryant once again with a beautiful pass down the field. Play action fake, good protection, leading the receiver. Once again, his man Jaden Terry to the end zone. Beautiful pass, a team that comes in the game roughly only throwing the ball about 4.5 times a game. 2 big strikes right there, leading the receiver. Cornerback never can get back into the play.
Underwood with the PAT, and Manchester has come back from a 14-0 deficit to take a 21-14 lead. Wow. Jaden Terry, 55-yard touchdown reception, had a 28-yarder earlier than that. So, wow.
And on similar routes, on that first time, it was more from inside, working inside the pocket. This time, coming from the outside across the field on that same kind of post route, leading the receiver. And you can see with Jaden Terry, he gets a step on that cornerback, and he is flat out fast.
Let's take a look at the Manchester resume. It's presented by DBH DD. Learn about safe usage of prescription opioids. 11-2 on the season. They were the number 2 seed coming out of Region 6, ranked number 4 in the regular season final rankings, top 10 in 1A D2. That one state championship that we alluded to coming in 1997. This is their 4th ever state finals. 1-2 in the big game. But here in big game number 4, they're up 21-14. Kick coming down at the 13-yard line. And up to the 26 goes Kyler McGrin, and he'll just stay out there and play quarterback.
Now can this Red Devil offense get any of that momentum? The first 2 scores of the game, they put on the board. Kyler McGrin with a touchdown run and then threw a ball down the field, a Caden Prothro. And since then, this Manchester defense has controlled the line of scrimmage, and nothing big has happened for the Red Devil.
It has been a complete flip of the script as Manchester now up by a touchdown, and Bowden going back on offense from their 26. And McGrin gets 4 on the play or thereabouts, maybe more like 3, as it looks like they're going to spot it at the 29. They have a man hurt on the play. Is that our big guy?
Timeout. It's like Justice Terry is down there, number 70. Can ill afford to lose the big fella when you talk about trying to stop this run game of Bowden.
Justice Terry is about the size of 2 of some of these players combined. See, rated as high as the #2 defensive lineman in the nation by ESPN. He's a 5-star and committed to the Bulldogs very early in his career before he even got to his junior season. Rated as high as the #7 overall junior in the country, regardless of position.
You know, an impressive looking 6'5", 275, very well built. Good explosion off the ball, dominant at times, requires a double team.
It's a grown man right there. You see them wearing the number 52 of Brandon Smith, their teammate who went missing and then was found dead over the weekend. Then Blue Devils deciding to play despite that unspeakable tragedy. Just amazing the way they've been able to respond, really kind of compartmentalize and come out and focus and play this football game, and do so with great passion.
Tough time, a tough team, and they are showing you the resilience here since the beginning of that second quarter.
2nd down and 7. Inside handoff goes to Beasley. And Beasley going to dive forward to the 34 and make it 3rd down and 2.
And in those last 2 plays, even though it's only 3 or 4 yards, you saw more energy. But McGrin running that 1st down play right there with Beasley, that looked like the first drive where they're not looking for a hole. They're just going to put their foot in the ground and start finding forward. That's the Bowden offense they have to find.
That opening drive was something else. 18 plays, 73 yards to score over 9 minutes, but the offense has not been as productive ever since, except right there. McGrin runs for a 1st down up to the 45-yard line as we approach 3 minutes to play in the half.
And this is what we saw in that first quarter there, just getting behind the block, wave of bodies right there by McGrin, make a cut, square the shoulders up. When you look at McGrin, we're talking about 6'1", about 200 pounds, so big physical runner inside.
11-yard pickup. The family's from Bowden. They moved off to Alabama. He's come back to play at Bowden. They're happy that he did. Screen pass goes to Beasley, trying to reverse the field there. Gets a block from McGrin and then slipped on the cutback. Got a great block from his quarterback and then slipped trying to cut back behind it.
What an athletic move here by Beasley. Quick screen out on the edge. Nothing there. Cuts back in. Shows you that slashing ability. McGrin out there leading, getting a big block right there. I see you, quarterback, with the pancake.
A pancake depleter. Wow, what a block. Beasley on the season. That's his receiving numbers on the year to go along with that 1,300 yards rushing. 2nd down and 6. Now McGrin gonna run it. Right up the middle. He might go. Inside the 10 and dives for the pylon. He's gonna be out of bounds. Let's see where they spot it. It's gonna be inside the 5.
This time following the backup lineman, Zatorian Valsaint, big number 54 with the block there, coming from the fullback position, getting out in the open field right there. Kyler McGrin. Watch big 54 right there. The young sophomore Valsaint with the key block, and then the speed and athletic ability there of the quarterback McGrin.
48-yard run by McGrin gives the Red Devils the ball, 1st and goal to go at the 4. Trying to tie this up before halftime. And you saw how they basically...
Timeout, Manchester.
Wholesale move of the defensive line, or offensive line, forcing a wholesale move of the defensive line. And McGrin, 17 carries for 111 yards in this first half.
Going with their heavy package right there, and when they made that shift of both of those linemen, Powell and Valsaint, the defense just got confused and didn't know how to line up. Good timeout there by Coach Holmes.
Our 2 single-A championships being decided.
Correction, timeout, Manchester.
Manchester called the timeout. So our 2 Class A championships being decided today. Prince Avenue Christian made it 2 in a row in 3 and 4 years with a big victory over Swainsboro in a highly entertaining game of two Georgia Tech and a Georgia commit going at each other toe-to-toe. The Georgia Tech commit got the best of it. Aaron Philo set the state all-time passing record in that game. And here, another fun one here is Manchester's up 7, but Bowden trying to tie it up before halftime.
Two teams that are familiar with each other over the last couple of years. Both have taken their swings at each other. Manchester coming up big here in the second quarter, and now the kind of response we figured Coach Finley and the Red Devils would make. They got back to that physicality of that first drive, getting the run game going, getting down the hill, attacking the line. Instead of looking for holes, they're forcing the hole with McGrin and Beasley.
2, 4, and 6. Those are the classification state championships tomorrow, and then 3, 5, and 7 on Wednesday to wrap things up. And the two teams as even as you can be in the total yardage here, with 2:03 to play in the half. So coming out of the timeout by Manchester, it's 1st and goal to go for Bowden at the 5-yard line. McGrin going to run to the power side of the field, and he spins backwards down inside the 1.
Good power running there by McGrin. Can't talk enough about this is not your regular quarterback size. This is 6'1", 200 pounds, physical, as we have seen, can return punts, can play, return kicks, play on the defensive side. Getting behind this big offensive line, heavy package in once again, putting in the extra lineman, the young sophomore, Zatorian Valsaint.
McGrin right up the middle, touchdown easily. And it's 21-20.
No need to make it complicated. Get back to what you started doing and why you were so dominant to start the game. Getting behind your line, the wave of white jerseys. Look how everyone's feet are in the end zone. That is great blocking right there. When your entire line is standing in the end zone, it's going to be a touchdown.
PAT is up and good, and it's 21-21. Yeah, no need for a tush push when you just push the defensive line back through the back of the end zone.
Just great push up front. Edwards, Simons, Harden, the Valsaint brothers. Everyone is in the end zone. Can't be anything but a touchdown at that point. Easy work right there by Kyler McGrin to get in for that touchdown.
Second rushing touchdown of the night for McGrin, who's north of 120 now rushing in the game, capping a 7-play, 74-yard drive in a 21-21 game with 83 seconds to play here in the first half. How much fun it's been to watch these two teams just slug it out against each other. There's the official look at the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign scoring drive.
Two teams playing with a lot of passion and a lot of physicality to get to this point in the game at 21-21.
Brandon Jones set to kick off for Bowden. Sends it downfield, going to be fielded at the 15-yard line. And Cooper on the return, a nice one at that, up to the 38. 14 yards on the return, so that's where the Blue Devils go on offense. They do have one timeout remaining, and before this game started, I probably would have said, well, you know, they can't throw the ball, but on second thought, they can throw the ball and do it fairly well.
Yeah, you would think they might have to just take a knee or just try to execute and hope they don't fumble the ball, but if you're Bowden on the back end, your corners have not shown any ability on the deep routes, especially on Jaden Terry, and expect some coverage to roll over to him in this drive.
Darius Bryant going to hand off and going to get about 3 on the play. That was the run by Darius Hines. I mean, Darius Bryant, their quarterback, came in with 3 touchdown passes for the entire season. He's thrown 2 here in the first half.
Great hustle here by Connor Daniel, the young freshman, giving Jordan Beasley a little rest on this drive, or at least on that play right there, running that play down.
2nd down and 4. Ball sitting on the 44. Cooper going to get it, trying to clear the edge out there. And he does! Quay Cooper, foot race, dragged down inside the 20-yard line.
Finally getting to the edge, finally finding a lane to the outside. Good blocking there by the tight ends and the backs to secure that edge.
Timeout, Manchester.
Manchester uses their last timeout, a 38-yard run by Quay Cooper. And who needs to throw the ball in a 2-minute offense?
Quay Cooper, his coach raved about his physicality right there, showing you at 155 pounds, the brilliant speed, making a big play for his offense. And we've seen him on both sides of the ball. He's made some nice tackles defensively right there, getting in that lane, getting upfield, showing you the dynamic ability he has at that A-back position.
His numbers for the season: 112 rushing for 1,042 yards, 9.3 yards a clip. That's pretty good. That's a first down almost every time he touched the ball. 10 touchdowns and 4 100-plus yard rushing games.
And I love that the guys, I see them drinking water, because this is turning into one of those games that who might cramp first.
Yep.
Might be the blink. So drink the water, excite us, stay in the game, make sure you're getting plenty of fluid.
So 35 seconds remaining in the half. Ball sitting at the 19-yard line. If you're wondering about field goal opportunities, if that situation would arise, they're probably not going to kick one unless they get it inside the 15. Timeout was called by Bowden.
Timeout, Bowden.
And that would be their last. So we'll play the final 35 seconds without the team being able to stop the clock. Let's take a look at the Manchester Blue Devils and their road to the finals. As we mentioned, they were the number 2 seed, so they were not at home for that 2nd round game nor the quarterfinals. They beat Mount Zion in the first game, Johnson County in the second. Clinch County quarterfinal victory 21-17, then ended the season of Telfair County 35-13 in the semifinals. 12-2 coming in. Lost to Schley County for the region championship late in the season. And they thought they might get a chance to see those guys again, but Bowden got to them first and knocked them out in a rematch at the state final. That was last week in the semifinals. So 1st and 10, ball at the 19-yard line. Bryant wants to throw it again. Got a backside rush coming at him, going to throw to the sideline and overthrow Hines, who might have jumped too soon, but I don't think it was going to matter either way. The ball was way over his head.
Yeah, could not set his feet. There was Bryant to deliver the ball there to Hines. Hines kind of got lost, and as everything settled down, just couldn't find him down the field. But nice job of him feeling that pressure on the backside, knowing that he needed to get rid of the ball was Bryant.
So 2nd down and 10, 29 seconds. Probably not in field goal range, at least not yet. I'm not sure that they ever would be. They might be, you know, the coach said, you know, not kicking it inside unless we're inside the 15 kind of means we're not kicking it at all sometimes. The run by Bryant does a good job of looking ahead, getting as many yards as he can, then steps out of bounds to stop the clock with 22 seconds, and now they're thinking touchdown.
Great execution up front. This is a long run to the outside. You can see him bowing, showing you the speed to get to the edge right there, seeing too many white jerseys. Didn't want to take a chance of going back in there and not being able to stop the clock.
So here you go, 22 seconds to go. Remember, there are no timeouts remaining for either team. So if you don't get it in the end zone on this play, there's a chance you might not get another play.
Matchup up top, Jaden Terry out on the edge.
Delay a game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Good first down.
It makes it a little bit tougher. So you might be able to run another play, but the point I'm making is if you run it and get stopped inside the 10-yard line, you get guys, sitting on that pile extra long, you're going to have your opportunities limited. You likely should get at least 2 plays out of these final 22 seconds running the ball. They're going to pass it again. Bryant on the sprint out and the throw, and misses Jaden Terry this time.
Up top, one-on-one against Berkeley Perkins here. Jaden Terry just running an out route, just couldn't hit him on the run. He had a step on the corner. Just need to bring that down to the big 6'2" target of Terry.
Yeah. Don't mind that pass, though, because he put it in a place that only the wide receiver is going to get it. So there's going to be very little opportunity throwing it that high that it's going to be pick 6.
We got him outside the pocket, away from the traffic, on a play where you could feel good about him being able to throw the ball away, if not complete the ball to stop the clock.
2nd down and goal from the 12. Bryant. Heavy rush, can't take a sack on this, and throws it incomplete. Fortunately, he had a man in the area, and they don't drop a grounding. Oh, now they do. No, that can't be the grounding call, can it?
Intentional grounding on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the foul. That penalty also carries a loss of down. It'll be 3rd down.
Well, from our vantage point, Quavian Cooper, number 4, was in the area. Looked like he had fallen down here. Watch number 4 here.
Oh, that's a lineman. That's Terry. I guess the question I have is the length of time it took for them to drop the flag. Why didn't the flag come more instantly instead of after he was standing over the quarterback? So that puts him in a tight spot here. This is that's a huge call that goes against Manchester, backs him up to the 33. And now there's just 12 seconds. I mean, you're looking at a Hail Mary to get the ball to the end zone.
If you're Bowden, you can't fall asleep on the back end. Let one of these receivers just kind of float and get open. Keep your eye on Jaden Terry. Expect the coverage to roll over to him.
Going to be a halfback pass. And it's going to be a quarterback sack. No, they throw to Jason Terry. That's an illegal receiver. Justin Terry. So Justin Terry gets an interception, gets a reception, but it's not going to count.
Now Terry did come into this game with a couple of carries under his belt as
on the offense. That penalty's declined. Halftime.
And it's halftime. Wow, Manchester missed a golden opportunity right there. They had the ball at the 7-yard line, and it looked like they might take the lead, but made some mistakes right there, and the Bowden defense bows up and makes some plays. 21-21 as the teams head to the locker room. So you see Stephen Holmes making his way to the locker room, and you see Nicky waiting to catch up with him as well. What an entertaining first half, Wayne.
Bowden took control of the first quarter, being able to run the ball. Then Manchester caught their breath with a lot of energy, making some plays down the field, and took the lead. So it's been a tale of 2 quarters. One dominated by the Red Devils, one dominated by the Blue Devils.
Halftime interview is brought to you by Johnny's New York Style Pizza, your original neighborhood pizzeria.
Hey, Coach, we saw the momentum shift into your favor. Now, I know that's not how you wanted the last drive to end. How do you respond in the second half when you guys get back on offense?
Hey, our kids were a little tight at first. You know, we just got to come back in. We got to execute better in between the tackles. We have to get the ball ran in there and open some things up. Real proud of how we played the middle of that half right there. We didn't finish. A little mismanagement on the clock. That was all my fault. But our kids are playing their butts off once they got loosened up a little bit. You know, got those nerves out of them. We just have to get the ball ran between the tackles and make them stay honest on defense.
I was going to say, speaking of defense, on your last defensive possession, Kyler McGrin, he had your number. How do you neutralize him at the quarterback position?
He's a great player. We got to play assignment football. They're doing a good job right there getting those linemen up to our linebackers. We got to do a better job of reading our keys and getting our run fits.
Lastly, Coach, can I just ask you real quick, how proud are you of the resiliency of your team right now?
Hey, there's 48 reasons in that locker room right there to be proud.
Finish the drill, Coach. Good luck. If you guys are just now joining us, it is halftime of the Single A Division II game between Manchester and Bowden. An emotional Coach Holmes running to the locker room with his men right now. Coming up at the half, we'll have John and Hannah for our region's halftime show. Stick with us right here on GPB. We'll be right back.
Only in Cartersville, Bartow. 3 Smithsonian-affiliated museums, Barnsley Resort, and an authentic downtown full of unique restaurants and shops. The perfect destination for a memorable staycation, only in Cartersville, Bartow.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by DBHDD and the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign. Be kind to your mind. Live drug-free. DBHDD and the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign is all about Georgians standing together for substance misuse prevention. Be kind to your mind. Live drug-free. Learn more about healthy alternatives and living a drug-free lifestyle at garedribbon.org.
Kennesaw State University.
At Regions Bank, we're here to listen to your needs, and we'll customize a plan to help you reach your financial goals. Our service to Georgia goes beyond banking to creating more inclusive prosperity in our communities. From education to financial wellness to economic development, we're working to level the playing field so more people can succeed and our communities can thrive.
Oh, could you give me a soda there?
Jackson EMC and 33 other participating Georgia Electric membership cooperatives congratulate Appalachia High School on winning the GHSA Cooperative Spirit Sportsmanship Award. This award honors schools that exhibit exemplary sportsmanship during competitive events. Only one school in each region, in each classification, is chosen to receive this annual award. The GHSA takes into consideration all aspects of sportsmanship, making the award a tribute to the entire community.
This is the third year in 5 years that Appalachia has won this award, and really this entire community should be very proud of the sportsmanship dynasty that's been built here at Appalachia High School. Jackson EMC serves many schools in this county, and we are very proud to support the school system and all of the achievements that are happening right here in Barrow County.
Introduced in 2006, this award reinforces the GHSA's philosophy that everyone associated with high school activities, from athletes to spectators, should adhere to the fundamental values it represents.
Very proud, humbled, but it also reinforces that we're doing things the right way. Our mission statement is to use athletics as a tool for academic and social success. And so our coaches are not only teaching that, but they are mentoring that. They're modeling that.
Georgia's EMCs and the 34 participating Georgia Electric membership cooperatives are proud to sponsor the Cooperative Spirit Sportsmanship Award. Congratulations to the Appalachia High School community.
Hey everyone, welcome into the Football Fridays in Georgia halftime show presented by Regions. Get back in the game with Regions Bank. That's John Nelson. I'm Hannah Gooden. It is halftime of the 7 o'clock game, the marquee game of the night, Single A Division II, Manchester versus Bowden. These two teams have played each other 3 times in the last 2 years. Let's get you caught up on what's happened on Georgia's EMC scoreboard. Georgia's EMC's so much more than electricity.
Nothing is resolved after the first half. It's 21-21. Remember when these two teams played in game 1 of this year? It was 21-20 final score. We have as many points, actually one more point in this game than we do in the game when they were playing
in the game one. So we'll see what happens here. Do they keep this pace? I think Manchester kind of grew into the game a little bit. Bowden was ready from jump. I just think it took Manchester a little time, as Coach Holmes said, to kind of get adjusted to how things are here under the Big Top.
A ton of talent on display, including Manchester defensive lineman Justice Terry. He's committed to Georgia. But what about the players that are overlooked
I gotta get
when it
warmed
comes
up
to
here.
recruiting year after year? Let's highlight some of them on
Make That Kid an Offer.
This week, we start with Flowery Branch senior linebacker Cameron Haynes. The 4-year starter bounced back from an injury last season and has already earned Hall County and Team Defensive Player of the Week honors. He's a smart kid with a 3.9 GPA and believes he's in the best shape of his football career. So somebody make him an offer. Next up is Brookwood quarterback Raj Waldrop. The 6'5", 207-pound senior threw for over 3,100 yards and 36 touchdowns during his junior season, while breaking 5 school records and earning All-State and All-Region honors. Somebody make him an offer. And our third nominee this week is Early County senior running back Tykavian Stovall. He helped lead the Bobcats to the 3rd round of the playoffs last year and finished the season with 822 yards and 14 touchdowns. That's averaging 137 yards per game. You gotta make him an offer. Hopefully these kids get some offers rolling in very soon and have some big decisions to make. We have an early National Signing Day special Wednesday, December 20th at 8 o'clock p.m. It will be streaming live on all of our social media platforms there that you can see on the screen, including gpb.org/sports, the GPB Sports app, and again, all the social media platforms. 8 o'clock with John and Matt. All right, we have to take a quick break, but coming up next, we have our You Save It Georgia Player Spotlight, and Dr. Hines is making a visit on set.
So
coming
I've
up.
heard.
You don't want to miss it.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Georgia's EMCs. So much more than electricity.
In lively towns and peaceful rural areas, Georgia's electric membership cooperatives are on a mission to provide a different kind of electricity. Our not-for-profit, member-owned EMCs are focused on making life better for members. At private residences, farms, and thriving businesses, we work for you, generating safe, reliable, affordable electricity, giving back to local programs, serving our members to make life brighter. Georgia's EMCs, so much more than electricity.
The GHSA football playoffs and championships are brought to you by Alpha Insurance. We're more than just an insurance company. We're a part of your community.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Regions Bank. Get back in the game with Regions Bank.
Yeah. I don't know about. We'll just roll with it.
Welcome back. It's time for our You Save It Pharmacy, a Georgia Player Spotlight, and today we are highlighting Griffin senior guard Zamaya Hosley. She's a scholar athlete and led the Bears to a 2023 basketball state title. Here's her story.
Zamaya, she's my point guard, but she's also like my silent killer. You know, she doesn't need all the hoopla, all the accolades and everything. She just does her job, but she does it with a tenacity that nobody would know.
Coming in high school, my dream was to always win the state championship game.
Hit one of the biggest shots that we needed at the time and did it without, you know, she didn't jump around, oh yeah, I did this. Nah, she still had that face like, I'm supposed to be here.
Samaya is also a leader in the community, so congratulations on all of your success, and thank you, You Save It Pharmacy, for another great spotlight. Okay, we have to take one more quick break, but Dr. Hines is getting all set up. Stick with us.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Regions Bank. Get back in the game with Regions Bank.
At Regions Bank, we're here to listen to your needs, and we'll customize a plan to help you reach your financial goals. Our service to Georgia goes beyond banking to creating more inclusive prosperity in our communities. From education to financial wellness to economic development, we're working to level the playing field so more people can succeed and our communities can thrive.
While we've got a quick break in the action, did you know that the same area of just one football field can contain up to 95 termite colonies? That's why you need Breda Pest Management to defend your home. Breda, the official pest control of high school football.
happen right at home because people don't understand the dangers of taking an Oxy or Perk with a glass of alcohol for stress or to sleep. Learn how to protect your family from opioid overdose at opioidresponse.info.
Look at that, look at that, look at that. Yeah, let's go.
Sweetheart, please don't forget to wear your seatbelt.
I got it, Mom.
It's a really nice day, living in the right space. Breathing your grace, got me feeling some kind of way.
In the blink of an eye, so many tomorrows can disappear. Buckle up for your future, every trip, every time. A message from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Welcome back to the Regions Halftime Show. If you're just now joining us, it is halftime of the Single A Division II matchup between Bowden and Manchester. We're all tied at 21. That's John Nelson. I'm Hannah Gooden, and we have a special guest with us, the Executive Director of the GHSA, Dr. Robin Hines. Welcome to the set.
Thank you for having me. It's good to see you.
Great to see you too, Dr. Hines. My first question for you, how does it feel to be back in the Benz?
It's great. It's great. You don't have to worry about a forecast.
No.
Yep.
You know, the Mercedes-Benz people have been great. We've been working on this for a long, long time.
Yes, you have.
And we continue to work on it and to make things better and make the experience great for our young people that are coming in here to create a memory that will last forever.
I was going to ask about the behind the scenes and all of the work that it takes to make something like this happen from the GHSA point of view and coordinating everything with Mercedes-Benz. You said you've been working at this a long time, but what about all of the elbow grease that makes something like this happen?
Well, they do a great job working with us. You know, we know the things that we need to have. Jalen Upshaw, who is, coordinating the event for Mercedes-Benz, has been thorough and really done a great job and certainly deserves a lot of credit for making this happen. But, from the initial conversations to pulling in all of the different departments about how all those pieces fit together and to bring it for these 3 days to create this experience for these communities and schools and especially those athletes and band members and cheerleaders, it's just an awesome experience. And I'm just telling you, I can't tell you how many times we've met, how many trips, how many of this and that, and how many thousands of emails to make this happen. It doesn't just happen. And certainly want to mention Ernie Yarborough from our side, who has been doing this for 23 years, who just does a super job, and they've just created a great team. We're happy to be here.
Let's talk about the talent level. 2 newcomers in Perry and Stockbridge here for the first time ever. We also have some defending champs in PAC and Bowden. Prince Avenue Christian won today for back-to-back championships. How do you feel about the talent level overall across the state and here at the championships?
Well, it's unbelievable when you read each week about what happened in the playoffs and you see these guys that are creating these new records and, throwing for a gazillion yards.
Yes. That's about right.
I mean, it's just really incredible. And I'm telling you, the single A football is some great football that's being played. And I'll tell you another thing. The single A communities that have come out to support their kids has been awesome. So, we're in quite a game right now. Back and forth, these guys are going at it, and it's just great football. And if you don't have anything to do tomorrow, or if you do have something to do tomorrow, put it on hold. Get out here and watch these games. We've got some great games on tap tomorrow and Wednesday. It's just an exciting time for us.
So then my last question has to do with flag football and how we start each day here at the championships. What's it like to see it grow to where it is, where it's 3 areas and 3 titles, and you've got a dynasty in Brooklet from Southeast Bullock who've won their first 62. What's that like to see flag grow?
Well, it's been great seeing it. We put it in. We found another way for our young ladies to compete, and compete do they. And to see it grow and from, 80 schools, it would have been much more. Remember, that was that COVID time and all. But now going up to where we're at approximately 250, it's starting to pick up. We want to get more schools in the southern part of our state involved to grow that. But, yes, getting back to Southeast Bullock, I don't care if you're playing tiddlywinks or you're playing in the NFL, if you win 62 straight games, and I'll tell you, that's a husband-wife duo that's deadly. They do a great job, and it's been fun to watch them and see those girls. And when you look at what they're doing offensively, it's just incredible. The strategy, the coaching, the way these girls play, I mean, it's just incredible. And we're seeing the rest of the schools work up to that. We're seeing, the coaching is getting better and better. They're taking the game very seriously. The young ladies that we have are tremendous. So excited to see it continue to grow.
And 3 championships in a row. Also, quick congratulations, Dr. Hines, on your retirement. We will miss you so much. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Well, thank you. But I'll be around for a while.
Yes, you will. You have till August.
I'll continue to lurk.
Thank you so much. And thank you for watching the Regions Halftime Show. Follow us on social media at GPB Sports to get all of the latest news and updates throughout the week. We have 2 more days to go. For Dr. Hines, John Nelson, I'm Hannah Gooden, everyone behind the cameras and in the control room. Thank you. It's been an awesome day 1 here on the set.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Camera. Start of the 3rd quarter at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Tied at 21, and time now for our coach's interview. It is brought to you by Johnny's New York Style Pizza, your original neighborhood pizzeria.
All right, Coach, you were just sitting here telling me it's a tight one, tied up at 21. How do you respond in the second half?
Well, it's a 0-0 game, however you want to look at it, 21-21. The team that scores the most points this half is going to be the state champion. So you erase everything that's happened in the first half and you play from this point forward, and hopefully we play the better football game.
All right, so let's talk about this forward. What was the message to your team if the first half didn't really matter to you right now?
Well, just, looking at the mistakes we made, some of the, we got lined up wrong on defense a few times and kind of feel like we helped them. They're playing really, really hard. They want to win as bad as we do. So, at some point, somebody's got to make a third down play. Hopefully, we're going to make more third down plays on both sides of the ball than they do this half.
All right, well, we'll see if your defense can make a stop on third down right here.
Yes, ma'am. We got to go win this first drive for sure.
All right, Matt Wayne, back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Nikki. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. It was Bowden coming out of the gate strong. 18-play, 73-yard drive. Kyler McGrin capped it with a 1-yard touchdown run, and then a fumble on the opening possession for the Blue Devils set up the Red Devils for a quick second score.
And then right here, McGrin going to the end zone to his big target, Caden Prothrow, to put the Bowden team up 14-0.
But Manchester started to get their legs under them, running that wing tee, but it was to the air they went, the 28-yard touchdown pass from Bryant to Terry, and that made it 14-7. And then Jaden Terry came up with a big play on defense.
Big turnover for this Manchester Blue Devil team to get more energy for their offense in a short field.
37-yard return. That led to the 9-yard touchdown run by Quay Cooper, and we were tied at 14. And then Manchester took their first lead of the game on another touchdown pass. Bryant to Terry, 55 yards.
Then Kyler McGrin once again getting behind his pass, running into the end zone to tie the score up 21-21 at half.
Yeah, Manchester had a chance there at the end and killed themselves with some mistakes once they got inside and had it first and goal at the 7-yard line. Here's the Breda Pest Management halftime stats. What jumps off the page at you?
Really just looking at the ability of the Manchester team with the passing yards, being able to throw the ball downfield. You feel like Bowden would have had an advantage in that category, and Bowden being able to run the ball. 176 yards rushing in that first half. A lot of that done on that first drive, but they shown that they can take the ball, control the clock, and run it down Manchester's throat.
Well, Bowden will get the ball to start the second half. Actually, it's going to be Manchester, Manchester to get the ball for the, how could you forget the 18-play, 73-yard drive that took 9 minutes off the clock. It was Manchester that won the opening toss and deferred. So they get the ball. And that shows you just how big of a miss it was that they didn't score at the end of the second quarter. They could have doubled things up there, get a score late, get the ball first here in the third quarter. But that was not the case. And as Coach Richard Finley told you, it's really a 0-0 game, or 21-21, however you want to look at it. The two teams start even as we begin this third quarter.
Both teams took their quarters. Bowden won the first, really, and when you look at Manchester, they found their energy, woke up out of the fog to take that second quarter, and we have a tie score for the second half.
Second half kickoff is brought to you by Buckle Up Georgia. Buckle Up Georgia, seatbelts save lives. Bouncing ball fielded at the 33-yard line, and the return up to the 43. So good field position for Manchester as they start with the ball here in the second half.
Manchester in the passing game really woke up in that first half. Big plays down the field to Jaden Terry, so they have to feel confident when they need to in the second half. They can drop back and throw the ball with Darius Bryant, but it starts with their ability to run the football. When you run this wing T offense, can they get to the edge and have that kind of success in the second half?
Well, Wayne, they played each other in week 1. It's now game 15. How much of an advantage and how much do you go and change the way you do things when you played 4 months ago?
At this point in the game and this point trying to take home the championship, your identity is who you are. Now it's about imposing your will, playing mistake-free football on both sides to try to take home the trophy.
Gain of 3 on that opening carry. Brings up a second down and 7. Darius Bryant, 2 of 5 passing for 2 touchdowns, 83 yards in that first half. Gonna hand off to Quay Cooper. Cooper gonna run it up to the 48-yard line, get 3 more yards on the play. And this is wing T Willhouse right here. You know, you get 3 yards, you get 3 yards, and now you got 3rd down and 4.
Staying ahead of the sticks. This is the down and distance. where now Darius Bryant being able to throw the ball, puts pressure on Bowden on the back end. Got to keep your eye on his ability to play fake and deliver the ball to Jaden Terry out on the edge.
3rd down and 4. Toss not going to work. Darius Favors gets tracked down in a hurry by Malachi Vickers and Kentrell Lay, or Kentrez Lay, pardon me. Favors got hurt on the play too.
Nice job of Lay continuing to be able to string this play out. Nice hustle by the other teammates. Vickers getting to the ball, and they can ill afford to lose this young man right here.
A loss of 6 on the play.
Looks like they're behind that right knee. Looks like maybe they're, is it his hamstring? Maybe it's just a cramp.
Yeah, I think it's more than a cramp. Flexing that right leg, checking the mobility of that leg. Range of motion. But Favors one of their 3 1,000-yard rushers. 6 carries, 12 yards total after taking a 6-yard loss on that play. Now able to sit up. It looks like he's kind of pointing to the portion of his leg where, you know, the leg and the torso come together.
Darius Favors right here at the end, trying to stop. Just getting this turned
right
around
there.
right there. You can see
wow.
that hip flexor,
yep.
the area right there where he just gets bent down. Good to see it's not that knee, but he's still having a little misstep there in his gait. Hopefully he can get back into this game, because his impact, not just as a running back, but as a linebacker, trying to stop this Bowden rushing attack is key as well.
So Jack Underwood is on to punt. He's standing at his 28, and Beasley is standing deep at the 19-yard line for the Bowden Red Devils. So ball at the 43. That's where it'll be snapped from. And Underwood booms it out of there. That's a great punt. High in the air. Beasley calling fair catch and making it at the 23-yard line. 34-yard kick with a lot of air underneath it. And that's where Bowden's going to go on offense. With 10:15 to play in the quarter in this 1A Division II championship game. And what a performance by Kyler McGrin in that first half. 141 yards rushing on 19 carries for the quarterback and 30 yards passing. So he's now 62 yards away passing wise, becoming just the second quarterback in state history to run and pass for 2,000 yards both in the same season. McGrin going to run it again and gets a solid pickup. 9 on the play for McGrin.
And this offense has really excelled when McGrin and Jordan Beasley just get the ball and get out in space. Beautiful block there by Malachi Vickers, the big tight end right there with the D cleater out on the edge. Nice job getting to the edge, reading that by McGrin.
Yeah, Vickers just buried his man, and it's going to be 2nd down and 1 from the 34. Quick pass goes out there to Beasley. They try to get him out on the edge, and he picks up the first down at the 40.
Dylan Akins, Caden Perthrow blocking out on the edge. This play takes a long time. Jordan Beasley going down low to pick this up, and then making a business decision there, running right into Zacharias Alford to pick up that first down.
So 1st and 10, ball at the 39-yard line. 29 rushes, just 5 passes for Bowden today. That was the kind of play selection disparity we expected to see out of Manchester. Maybe a little bit more passing out of Bowden, but why do you pass it when you got McGrin who can run it like he's been running it?
Once again, making a quick decision on this read is McGrin, showing you the speed. As we talked about, has running back speed, great vision, getting to the outside, turning this into a foot race there against Jaden Terry. Those two guys have been so dominant on both sides of the ball for their team.
Richard Finley calls him the biggest hidden gem in the state of Georgia, and I would tend to agree. 150 yards rushing from McGrin here early in the third quarter. Beasley trying to bounce it outside, does a nice job of picking it up down to the 32-yard line. Going to get 6, maybe not quite that much, maybe more like 5 on the play.
Just getting back to that first quarter mentality, getting downhill, these runs, his offensive line and the tight ends executing and running the ball beautifully.
Second down, nice solid drive Bowden putting together here in this third quarter. Beasley got it wrapped up as he runs through the hole. Down to the 27, going to bring up 3rd and 1.
3 or 4 yards left side here, pulling the left guard or the right guard. Jalen Simons with the kick out block, following and falling forward there is Jordan Beasley.
3rd down and 1, ball at the 27. McGrin going to run up in the hole and get the first down. Looks a lot like they're getting back to where they were to start the game.
Getting back to that physical mentality, north and south running by the ball carriers. McGrin falling forward, imposing their will against this defensive front up front by the offensive line.
1st and 10 for Bowden, trying to win a 2nd straight state championship. Bunch set, 4 wide receivers, not quite a diamond formation, setting up the screen pass for Beasley down here at the bottom of your screen. The play gets blown dead.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. We play first down.
It's only the 2nd penalty on Bowden. 1st and 15 now after the 5-yard mark off. Ball back down at the 27 now. 28.
Continuing to show this kind of quad package outside, 4 receivers bunched up on the edge.
Instead, McGrin going to run it, and he's going to pick up just a little bit, maybe 4 on the play, close to the original line of scrimmage.
We saw early in the drive throwing a quick screen out to Beasley, so that formation sets up for definitely a fake to the quick screen, something deep down the field, the pro throw, but nice job there reading the box by Kyler McGrin, going to get those 3 or 4 yards.
8th play of the drive coming up. Pro throw who's going in motion. McGrin looking downfield, gonna dump it off. Beasley makes a one-handed catch, but then gets nailed right away by Favors.
A little middle screen here to Jordan Beasley. Nice job of him being patient, going up, one-handed catch right there, and a big hit by CJ Favors. Made him pay the price right there for that catch.
Now it's 3rd down. And you can see Beasley was frustrated with the lack of development in that play after he got up from the tackle. 3rd and 10. McGrin across the middle and broken up at the 7-yard line. Big time play. Beasley, the receiver.
Big hit there by Darius Bryant. Yes, Darius Bryant, the quarterback, breaking on the ball. Kyler McGrin, good pocket to throw from, trying to throw into tight coverage. And Darius Bryant coming in here and breaking that, knocking that ball out of the hands of Jordan Beasley.
Bringing the hammer. And now it's 4th down and 10, and Bowden going for it. Line to gain is the 13. Big play here midway through the 3rd quarter. McGrin scans the field, looks far side, got the first down, snuck a man open, and Berkeley Perkins comes up with a huge catch on 4th down.
Great play design here. Nice patience by McGrin, letting this play develop right there. Fake the flare, pass out on the edge to Beasley. Hard throw, Caden Prothro grabbing the safety on his route and leaving Berkeley Perkins wide open down the line of scrimmage.
15-yard pickup on 4th and 10. It's 1st and goal to go now for the Red Devils. Ball is at the 7-yard line. Beasley lowers his shoulder, rams off left tackle, gets down to the 4.
Just hammering away. This Red Devils offense falling forward, so similar to that first drive they had in the to start the game. Nice execution and slow roll into the end zone.
Yeah.
Trust me, that's not a negative for them. It's okay in their mind to take 2 or 3 yards to score.
McGrin rushes in for the score. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the night comes from 4 yards out, and the Red Devils are back on top.
Beautiful blocking there. Tight ends, running backs, Mason Daniels, Dylan Akins, the tight ends, the B-backs, the receivers, all blocking a walk-in touchdown there for Kyler McGrin.
Brandon Jones on for the PAT. Berkeley Perkins the holder, and Prothro is the snapper. Everything works right, and they get the kick up and in. Another long drive for Bowden. This one's 12 plays, and the Red Devils on top by 7.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Cigna Healthcare. Cigna Healthcare is a proud partner of Georgia Public Broadcasting and Football Fridays. Cigna Healthcare's mission is to improve the health and vitality of those we serve. Visit Cigna.com to learn how you can support your physical and emotional well-being. Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Georgia's EMCs. So much more than electricity.
Today's conservation-minded consumer cares about where their energy comes from. Your local EMC cares too. Georgia's electric membership cooperatives offer renewable options for our members. In fact, our solar portfolio will produce enough clean energy to power more than 180,000 households, striving to move the needle toward progress and position communities for the future. Georgia's EMCs, so much more than electricity.
DBHDD and the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign is all about Georgians standing together for substance misuse prevention. Be kind to your mind. Live drug-free. Learn more about healthy alternatives and living a drug-free lifestyle at garedribbon.org. Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Regions Bank. Get back in the game with Regions Bank.
Back at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, we're down to our final 17 minutes in the Class 1A Division II State Championship game. And Kyler McGrin carrying this team on his back. Caps a 12-play, 76-yard drive with a 4-yard touchdown run. Over 230, close to 240 yards of total offense. McGrin was 6 for 49 rushing on that drive alone. And Bowden back on top. Kick going to be taken at the 14-yard line. Hines on the return, switches arms as he goes to the near side and runs it up close to the 40-yard line. Let's see where they spot it. 39. That's going to be good field position for the Blue Devils.
Physicality on that last drive by Bowden, setting the tempo. That's how they played in that first half when they had success. And now can Manchester and this Blue Devil team, can they answer? That man right there has had a big day on both sides of the ball, Darius Bryant. He's going to have to continue that and get back to their running ability to run the ball with Cooper and Favors.
So 1st and 10, ball is at the 39-yard line. Hands the ball to the first man through. And that's Kendarius Hines, I think, on the carry. It was Hines who just returned the kickoff. Gets the first carry of the drive, and he muscles it up to the 45-yard line. Picks up 6 on the play.
Nice quick hit inside by Hines, the junior, 5'9", 160.
Only 202 yards rushing, 29 carries. But when you run a wing T offense, everybody's going to get their chance sooner or later.
And multiple backs. Anyone can get the ball at any time.
That's Darius Favors. Ball comes out, but the whistle had blown.
Good to see Favors back in the lineup. We saw him leave there with what looked like maybe a little hip injury. Right here, just getting downhill, physical back is Favors right there. Yep, the ball looks like it was out, but maybe they call that the whistle or his forward momentum had stopped. You can see Coach Finley right there asking the referee.
He wants to know if he can challenge. He wants to call a timeout. Because you saw in the replay, it looked like the ball was clearly out, but had they blown the whistle? That's the question. So he calls a timeout. He wants to see he's trying to decide whether he wants to challenge the call or not.
And are you calling it down by whistle or forward progress? Or you're saying it wasn't a fumble? I think that's what Coach Finley is trying to figure out.
Let's bring in Dave Reynolds and see if he can give us an explanation.
Yeah, so we're waiting for the coach to throw the red flag on the field. I think he just threw that to challenge the spot of the forward progress running back.
Well, the ball was out. So how does that work if the play was blown dead? Then it's not a fumble. So he's not challenging the fumble. He's challenging the spot. Which is what's he going to challenge? Or do we not even know that yet? So repeat that, please.
The previous play is under review.
So the play is being reviewed now.
Yes, the rule in the field should be at the spot, wherever that spot is. He can challenge where that runner was pushed backwards and then fumbled, if that makes sense.
So the challenge is spot of the ball or the fumble?
Where he made his forward progress to that point can be reviewed.
I get what you're saying now.
Forward progress on the play.
Once that official has deemed that to be the spot, thereafter would not be able to be overturned.
Okay. So we've gone under review right here. We'll take another look at it. So the determination is, has his forward progress been stopped? And it does. He is going backwards, that's for sure.
Yes, I don't want to speak on the other angles that the review process has, but looking at that one camera angle, I would say the runner's forward progress is stopped at the 49-yard line and then pushed backwards and then fumbled.
Then fumbled, so the play is dead.
And the ball would be placed at the 49.
So we're waiting to see how this one unfolds. I'm guessing that the play is going to be that if the coach is challenging whether he fumbled, that's not going to be overturned. Based on what we're hearing, based on what we're seeing, because forward progress appeared to have been stopped, and then the fumble came after forward progress had been stopped.
And then some growing pains right there between the communication from the officiating staff, from upstairs, from the coach. So a new process for everybody involved right there to stop that play.
Yep. So this is a sticky one. But if you've been able to follow kind of what we're saying here, you got to determine, okay, where's forward progress stopped? So it appears at this point forward progress has stopped. He still has possession of the ball. So
after review, the call on the field stands. 3rd down.
That's not going to be a popular call with the Bowden fans. But again, it appears to be the right call because they established that forward progress had been stopped. And once that's stopped, the play is dead.
Definitely the right call. Ball seems to be in the right spot. Now it looks like it's 3rd and inches at this point. It's right, very close to a 1st down.
So was that also covered by the replay, the spot of the ball?
So the rule in the field was the runner was stopped short of the line of the game, pushed backwards, and then fumbled.
Right.
And so replay just let that play stand. Again, probably the right camera angle to overturn that play on the field.
So here you go, 3rd and less than a yard for Manchester. And that's a 1st down carry for the Blue Devils as they cross the 50-yard line.
Big surge there on that right side of the ball for Manchester. Able to come up with that 1st down, and Darius Favors falling forward.
So 1st and 10, ball at the 48-yard line. Handoff goes to Cooper. Quay Cooper gets about 7 on the play.
Nice job of Cooper right there, finding that first hole, not trying to bounce to the outside. Right here, just getting downhill right there. Decided he was not going to try to get to the outside. Tough running, holding on the ball with 2 hands to pick up those yards.
You see Beasley, you could see at the end of that replay, Beasley grabbing at his right arm, his upper right arm, maybe his shoulder. You see he's flexing that now. He got hurt on the play.
And we saw him on that screen pass take a big hit where he looked like he was a little uncomfortable in that area as well. Nice blocking up front. Physical run here by Cooper. And you can see just taking the blunt right there, force into that shoulder. Hopefully he can get back in this game. As we talked about with Darius Favors, he's one of those guys just key offensively and defensively for his team to have success.
Saw Beasley's numbers on defense for the season, only 1 tackle today. He's also rushed for 47 yards and caught 4 balls for 15 yards. 2nd down and 3. Ball is sitting on the 41. And a big run by Favors. And they're starting to flex their muscles inside. 12-yard pickup.
Nice run here by Favors here. Big physical back, getting out of that tackle. Penetration by Big Z. Being able to run up out of that big tackle and get upfield. And once he gets into that secondary with his size and strength, he is a load to handle.
1st and 10. Carry straight up the middle, gets thrown backwards. Short gain, if anything, right there for Favors on that play.
Nice job filling in there at that wheel backer by Langley, 17. You can see Little Z, Bill Saint right there getting into action too, number 54.
If we're going to call 5'7", 275 little. He's actually bigger than his brother from a weight standpoint. Second down, ball at the 28. Cooper, man, that's a big hit right there in the hole. Very physical play.
Nice job there, Dylan McGrin. Like his brother, he is just the anchor of this defense. Came in the game as their leading tackle. Nice job there getting into the legs of the runner with the big hit, being able to bring down Quavian Cooper.
Sixth tackle of the game for Dylan McGrin, who came in as their top tackler, 143 on the season. Manchester 3 of 5 on their third down conversions tonight. Cooper tries to get to the outside, not going to get there. Great rally to the ball by the Bowden defense. They come up big. Chris Wyatt, the outside linebacker, first guy to greet him.
Great job of holding the point on this play here on the outside, little jet action, trying to get Cooper to the outside. Good job right there of fighting by Marcus Harper, not letting him get to that corner, forcing him back into the traffic to set up this fourth down.
There are a lot of guys on that play. Jackson Edwards also. Fourth down. Bryant in trouble. Quarterback sack back at the 38-yard line. Malachi Vickers. Ball goes over on downs.
Big time pursuit from the backside, as you can see. Bryant trying to get to the edge. Good job by Lay, not allowing him to get outside. And then the backside pursuit there by Malachi Vickers is always key on a rollout as your D-line continues to hustle to the ball. Nice job of him being able to rally and bring down Darius Bryant.
Vickers has had a monster game. That's his 8th solo tackle, quarterback sack, and 2 TFL. So ball goes over on downs. 1st and 10 for the Red Devils. And Beasley trying to bounce outside. Not going to happen. Quay Cooper there grabs a leg and holds on.
Great job once again playing the run by Quavian Cooper, literally the smallest man out on the field here, getting into the wheels on the edge, keeping the head to the outside, as you can see, just not going to let the bigger back Jordan Beasley get out of his grasp.
And that is going to be the end of the third quarter. Heading to the fourth in Atlanta. Bowden seeking a consecutive state championship and up a touchdown.
The GHSA football playoffs and championships are brought to you by Alpha Insurance. We're more than just an insurance company. We're a part of your community.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
You know, I'm a person too.
Half of the nation's opioid overdoses happen right at home because people don't understand the dangers of taking an Oxy or Perk with a glass of alcohol for stress or to sleep. Learn how to protect your family from opioid overdose at opioidresponse.info.
Start of the fourth quarter at the Benz. Bowden on top of Manchester, 28-21 in the Class 1A Division II State Championship game. Matt Stewart along with Wayne Gandy. Nikki Noto Palmer, our entire Emmy Award-winning GPB sports team, and you see the emotions and the tension on the faces of these players as one team is 12 minutes away from winning a state championship. For Bowden, it would be their second in a row. For Manchester, it would just be the second in school history and the first since 1997. Bowden has the ball to start this fourth quarter. Second down and 9 from their own 39. Kyler McGrin, who is the leader for Georgia Cotton Commission Player of the Game, has the first carry of the fourth quarter. What a performance by McGrin.
Nice job off the edge here by Bobby Ellison. Hasn't called his name a lot tonight. You can see him playing with that big club on his hand right there, but still making an impact is the junior inside linebacker.
Broken hand, and that's a big club right there. That's a war club he's got on that left arm of his. Third down and 10. McGrin sprint out, 6 of 8 passing in the game, throws into a tight spot. It is caught, but going to be short of the first down as the ball goes to Perkins. Now it's going to be fourth down. You don't go for it here, do you?
Not in this situation on this side of the field. You're up one score. Your defense has been playing pretty tight here in the second half. Nice rollout, nice job there. Perkins going down to get it for his quarterback as well.
So Chris Wyatt, outside linebacker, also their punter, stands at the 33 to kick. 2 men back for the Blue Devils. Kick going to be fielded by Cooper. Tightrope in that sideline, but he went out of bounds. Let's just see where they spot it. Looks like the 24 is where they'll put it. 35-yard kick by Wyatt, 4-yard return by Cooper, and the Blue Devils go back on offense. Down a score with 10:31 left in regulation.
And if you're Manchester, you got to come out here and execute and really feel like you got to flip the field in your mind and score in this drive. You have seen how Bowden can go on a long drive, eat up a lot of clock. The clock starts being your enemy if you're Manchester when you're down 28-21 with a team that can run the ball the way that Bowden has shown.
First and 10 for the Blue Devils. Inside handoff and a big hold. That's Whitaker on the carry. That's his first carry of the game. We got a man down on cramp for Bowden. We're starting to see a lot of that now.
Nice pull and kick out block there by Terry.
Injury timeout.
Out on Akins, following behind the big block there to get upfield is Whitaker.
And that's Chris Wyatt, who just punted the ball a few moments ago. Now he's out there getting his legs stretched out. Now he's going to be able to walk off the field under his own power. So second down and 1. Now the officials have called a timeout, I guess, because both teams are huddled up near their own sidelines. They called the timeout for the injury break, but now sending the guys back out. 10:18 to go. Manchester looked like they might get blown out of the bins early. They fell behind 14-0, but what a job Stephen Holmes has done. This team speaking incredible tragedy, dealing with incredible tragedy with the loss of Brandon Smith over the weekend, just a day before they compete for the state championship. Cooper on the run, going to get stonewalled, gets thrown back. Beasley on the tackle. The Manchester folks want a flag, don't get it.
Getting a little chippy out here. Great surge of blockers here. Quavian Cooper running behind his pads right there, finishing the play. Felt like they threw him down after the whistle.
Gets the first down, first and 10, ball at the 37.5. Big run. Favors in a gaping hole, carrying Bowden defenders across the 40 down to the 39.
That better Terry Lockhart over there on the left side, pulling out, kicking out. Nice find there by Favors. One cut downhill. Physicality at the end. Jamichael Jones, the safety, holding on for dear life to bring down Favors.
Favors 8 carries, 46 yards. That was a 23-yard pickup on that one play. 1st and 10 from the 39. And Favors leans forward and falls forward to the 34-yard line.
You can see Favors, he's in a little groove. He's making that motion. Feed me downhill late in the game. Defense has been out there. They're tired. It's been a physical game. A guy like him trying to take over. As we talked about, big body, 6 feet, 200-pound sophomore, just getting downhill and daring anyone in his way to tackle him.
Between these two teams, Wayne, we're right at 400 yards rushing in the game. Trying to get to the edge, not going to get there. Great pursuit by the defense of Bowden as Devin Powell comes up and prevents the runner from getting beyond the edge.
Kewan Anderson running the ball there, makes the 8th runner for Manchester, the 8th ball carrier in the game for them.
Kewan not even on our 2-deep depth chart. 3rd down and 5. Trying to get around the edge, and Cooper down to the 29.5. Going to be close to the 1st down.
Nice job here by Cooper to finish this play.
They spotted down at the 30.
But not before. Now 4th and 1.
Yeah, they spotted it down at the 30. Didn't quite give him the spot that I thought he got. I thought he was at about the 29.5. Still would not have been enough for the 1st down. But they're now about a full yard short of the 1st down yardage and going for it right here with 8 minutes to play in the game. Heavy rush, they get it out of there, and great play by Favors. Great play by Bryant to get that handoff as the Red Devils brought a dog blitz.
Dylan McGrin coming from that Mike position, run blitzing. Nice job of Bryant, able to hand that ball off to Favors to get out of that tackle, get to the edge, and the big back falling forward to pick up the 1st down.
1st and 10, ball at the 25. Keeper by Bryant. Bryant cuts back inside the 10, loses his helmet. Flag comes out as he reaches the 8.
Darius Bryant deciding to keep the ball out on the edge. Getting upfield here. Good blocking out on the edge right there. Sees that green grass. Cut back to the field. Right there, I think they're going to call at the last moment right there. Derek Phillips pulled the helmet off. Now, does that mean that Darius Bryant has to leave the game in that point? He can stay on the field because the defender pulled his helmet off.
Another man being tended to for Bowden at the 5-yard line. But what a run by.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. Half the distance to the goal line, 1st down.
Man, what a run by Darius Bryant right there. He hasn't done much of that tonight. Breaks off a 17-yarder.
Right here, getting out on the edge, deciding not to take the pitch, showing you his athletic ability out in space. Taking the big hit, the face mask there at the end by Phillips. And glad to see that he can stay in the game. In the high school level, your helmet comes off. Typically, you have to leave the game, but because the defender pulled it off, he's allowed to stay in the game.
1st and goal to go for the Blue Devils, trying to tie this game up. Right up the middle, touchdown, Darius Favors from 4 yards out, and it's 28-27.
What hip problem is what Darius Favors is saying. Great blocking up front, running behind his pads. This entire drive, he's been putting his will on this defense, daring anyone to step up and try to tackle him right there. Giving you the Ezekiel Elliott spoon feed me the ball on that drive.
High snap, they get it down, kick is up, and it knuckles through. Flag comes out as well. So we'll check the penalty call right here.
We have a chop block inside. It's Tavian Vilsaint.
Illegal block below the waist on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay the try.
That is a huge penalty because this now makes this a very difficult make, I believe, for Jack Underwood, their kicker. This might actually push this out beyond his range.
Right over there, you can see on that tight end position, Benji Thompson going low on the defender there, taking his legs out.
Well, this is going to be a difficult PAT make for Jack Underwood. This is going to be a 35-yard kick.
Coach Holmes is going to call a timeout. Settle his team down.
Manchester.
I mean, there are no good options here. I mean,
it's a two-point conversion from this distance.
Yeah.
It's just kind of unthinkable.
And while they think about what they're going to do, we're going to step aside.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Cigna Healthcare. Cigna Healthcare is a proud partner of Georgia Public Broadcasting and Football Fridays. Cigna Healthcare's mission is to improve the health and vitality of those we serve. Visit Cigna.com to learn how you can support your physical and emotional well-being. Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by DBHDD. Win by learning about safe usage of prescription opioids.
Half of the nation's opioid overdoses happen right at home because people don't understand the dangers of taking an oxy or perk with a glass of alcohol for stress or to sleep. Learn how to protect your family from opioid overdose at opioidresponse.info.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Regions Bank. Get back in the game with Regions Bank.
Well, coming out of the timeout, Manchester's going to try a long 35-yard PAT here for Jack Underwood after the chop block penalty pushed back the PAT attempt. And no, they're going to run a fake instead. Throw downfield to nobody in particular. Jaden Terry was the intended target. And Nick Brown threw the incompletion. But Coach Stephen Holmes knew that the kick was out of Underwood's range. So they had to try something.
And you could see the Bowden defense was set. They were playing kind of what you would call field goal safe. The secondary is already back. Only 3 guys really rushing the field goal attempt. So plenty of white jerseys on the back end, not going to let that play happen.
So the score is 28-27. And Bowden's getting ready to get the ball back. Now here's the scary thing. If you're Manchester, you've already seen Bowden break off a 9-minute drive. And that's exactly what the Red Devils are going to try to do right here. Finish this game with one final drive.
putting a lot of pressure on their offense. This defense has to get off the field. They got to get some penetration. The one thing that they haven't consistently done to stop Bowden tonight is get this D-line to get some penetration up front. Can they do it on this drive?
So Underwood will kick off from the 40. And that Manchester defense is going to have to come up with a big stop, as the kick is going to be taken at the 16-yard line. And the return by McGrin up to the 26. And there's a flag down in the middle of the field. So let's check which way this penalty is going to go.
Blocking the back, or receiving team, 10-yard penalty, be first down.
Get Dylan McGrin with a block in the back away from the ball. Those kind of plays you just can't have when you're trying to close out a game. Take that field position away from your offense. Big break here for Manchester.
So it looks like they're going to spot it off from the 26. Means they're going to put it down at the 16. So 1st and 10 for Bowden. Red Devils have it at the 16-yard line. They have 7 minutes and 10 seconds to kill to capture their 2nd straight state championship and their 4th in school history. They've had 2 10-plus play drives. They've had 2 5-plus minute drives, and their very first drive of the game was 9+ minutes and 18 plays. And Beasley gets tripped out on the edge. Great play over there on the defense.
Darius Bryant. Yes, Darius Bryant, the quarterback that's making all the plays offensively here, making a big tackle out on the edge. Jordan Beasley trying to get out of it right there, trying to high step over the junior quarterback, and able to bring him down there was Bryant.
2nd down. McGrin going to come to the short side and get stuck in the hole there by C.J. Favors, and it's going to be 3rd down.
Here's a play for the Blue Devils defense to get off the field in this situation. A 3 and out, give your offense the ball with great field position. Penetration is key for this kind of down by the defensive line.
Saw the rushing performances for McGrin in the playoffs, and tonight the best yet, as he's gone for 186. And if this is indeed a penalty on Manchester, it's going to be close to a 1st down.
Encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
It is going to be 1st down.
So Terrius Gray, 18. They went with the hard count and was able to catch him in the neutral zone on that play right there. 18 on the edge. Hard count once again. We've seen Bowden do that to make the defense declare itself consistently tonight, this time getting Gray to jump offside.
Stephen Holmes working the officials. Fresh set of downs for Bowden from the 21. Ball is thrown over the head of Beasley. Let's see if that went backwards. They're going to rule that incomplete. That was close to being a backwards pass and a loss of yardage on the play.
Definitely from our angle, looks like the ball went back. You could see Coach Holmes up there lobbying. He's thrown the red flag. He feels like it was a lateral as well. He wants that 5 yards. He wants that ball moved back. Right here you can see McGrin, and that ball is going back.
Yeah, it landed backwards.
McGrin was on the 19. That ball kind of went at the angle of around the 19 and a half. That is a backwards pass, and that ball.
The previous play is under review. Manchester is challenging whether it was a forward pass.
Yeah, so I think, I mean, the 21 is where the ball is sitting. And I think the pass ended up coming down. The ball is sitting on the 26. The play was made at the 21, I think. And I think the ball ended up landing behind Beasley at about the 20 and a half, if I got it right. So look, here's the pass from the 21. Beasley is kind of straddling the 21 right there. Now watch where the ball lands. It lands close to the 20. So if flight of the ball and where it lands are all equal, that is a backwards pass. And the officials got a clear look at it right there. They're going to see that replay, the one that we just showed you. So what's in question here is what would be a 6-yard loss on the opening play of this series, or this set of downs.
And it's a correct call here by Coach Holmes to challenge this in this situation. He was emphatic of when he saw it on the side. But you can see right here, McGrin trying to get the ball out to Beasley. And the ball just sailing away from him over Beasley's head, but backwards. And from our angle, that looks like definitely a backwards pass.
And Bowden, of course, can consider themselves very fortunate that that ball didn't stay in live play, because that makes it an opportunity for a fumble recovery. So the play continues to be under review. A challenge from Manchester coach Stephen Holmes. All in all, I think the whole replay process, going back to our first tackle football game of the day to this one, has been a good one. It has helped the game. There's no doubt about it. Great decision by the GHSA to implement video review.
After review, it was a backward pass. It'll be second down at the 20-yard line. Please reset the clock to 5:53.
And that's the other thing I love about this. They're able to use the review to get the time right and put 3 additional seconds back on the clock. So that ends up being a 6-yard loss on what essentially becomes just a long fumble out of bounds. I'm guessing that McGrin, the quarterback, gets credit for the fumble since he was the only guy who touched the ball. So back at the 20 now, second down and 16. We'll see if Manchester can take advantage of their successful challenge. McGrin gonna run it. And McGrin gonna go down. Zyterius Gray, the defensive end, is right there to stop him. Now it's gonna be third down.
Nice job of Gray getting off the block out on the edge, and this time able to bring McGrin down. A lot of bodies over here. Watch how he gets off the block right there. Malachi Vickers, and able to rally and bring down the quarterback.
That was a big time play by him. Bowden is 6 for 10 on third downs, but they haven't faced many 3rd and 14s tonight, which is what they're facing right now. The clock approaching 5 minutes to play in regulation. McGrin looking to throw it. Now he's going to take off and run. They don't contain, and he picks up the first down. What a huge play by Kyler McGrin to get him a fresh set of downs.
And it looks like on this play, C.J. Favors and Cooper, 4-1 right here, had a chance maybe to knock him out of bounds, kind of pulled off a little. Not sure if they were afraid maybe to get the personal foul or hit out of bounds right there, but both of them kind of conceded and let McGrin pick up that first down out on the edge.
McGrin now with 175 yards rushing tonight. Handoff goes to Beasley. Beasley with a big hole, and all the way across the 50 down to the 49.5.
Big physical run right there by Jordan Beasley. You can tell by his body he's laboring. He's a little tired. He's going to fall forward, though. He is playing hard, playing his heart out, challenging the defense right there. Jaden Terry having to bring him down after picking up the first down.
Well, Coach said that Terry's performance in their victory against Schley County last week in the semifinals, a rematch of last year's state finals, the best game of his life. That's a big carry right there to give him the first down. Going to reverse it. not technically a reverse because the ball didn't reverse, but the play went to the right, and the runner Beasley comes back to the left.
Nice job right there. Nice tackle once again. Darius Bryant sticking his head in there to bring down Beasley. Clock still ticking. You can see Bowden in no rush to run any plays.
Second down and 8. Bowden trying to grind this game out. Manchester will have to start thinking about using timeouts on the defensive side here in a moment. Beasley gets another chunk of yardage down to the 43. And it's going to be third down. And I think Manchester, no official timeout. One of the players, 55, Jackson Edwards, the center, loses his helmet.
Matt, you know how I feel about the whole helmet goes off. I have to leave the game. I don't understand why that's a rule. You lose your starting center here for a play, which is always a pivotal position when you're trying to close out a game to have good snaps.
Or they could call a timeout to get him back on the field. They elect not to do that here. Third down and 3. But a shotgun snap. Watch the snap here. Goes right back to McGrin. No problem. He picks up the first down and more. McGrin down to the 32. And now Manchester is going to have to start using timeouts, and they only have 2.
Kyler McGrin here, quarterback draw all the way. A little counter action there. Dylan Akins not blocking fast enough for me. We're trying to get this win. You could see him push him in the back, push him forward. Great run there by McGrin.
4th career 200-plus rushing game for Kyler McGrin. First and 10. What a way to close out your high school football career with Kyler McGrin and his performance tonight. Beasley, another solid run. Manchester in trouble now because they can't stop this rushing attack of Bowden.
You can see on those last 2 runs between McGrin and watch Jordan Beasley get a little burst of life right here. The feet are quick. They're moving, breaking tackles, falling forward. They're getting that feeling. They can sense and smell that championship going home with them.
Bleeding clock. Play clock is down to 10 seconds. Running it all the way down as far as they can before they snap the ball. Beasley trying to cut back and going to be close to the first down. And a flag comes out. And if this is a penalty on Manchester, it just might do it for Bowden.
Jordan Beasley with the cut back and going to the stiff arm there on Darius Favors. As you can see, nothing to the front side, vision, footwork to get to the backside, switching the ball.
Face mask, defense, films half the distance to the goal, first down.
And now inevitability starting to creep in here for Manchester outside of some kind of catastrophic mistake like a Miami Hurricanes type mistake against Georgia Tech. It's going to be almost impossible for Manchester to stop Bowden here. They're going to have it 1st and 10 and only 2 timeouts remaining for the Blue Devils after this next running play, or whatever the play is. If it's a running play, which you assume it would be, Manchester is going to have to burn a timeout. And there's still 30 on the play clock. They probably should be burning a timeout right now. But the math is working against them with just 2 timeouts.
Timeout, Manchester.
Yeah, they took too long to burn that timeout.
Too much time.
1:28 to go. Bowden closing in on a 2nd straight state championship.
Cigna Healthcare is a proud partner of Georgia Public Broadcasting and Football Fridays. Cigna Healthcare's mission is to improve the health and vitality of those we serve. Visit Cigna.com to learn how you can support your physical and emotional well-being. Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by DBHDD and the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign. Be kind to your mind. Live drug-free. DBHDD and the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign is all about Georgians standing together for substance misuse prevention. Be kind to your mind. Live drug-free. Learn more about healthy alternatives and living a drug-free lifestyle at garedribbon.org.
At Regions Bank, we're here to listen to your needs, and we'll customize a plan to help you reach your financial goals. Our service to Georgia goes beyond banking to creating more inclusive prosperity in our communities. From education to financial wellness to economic development, we're working to level the playing field so more people can succeed and our communities can thrive.
While we've got a quick break in the action, did you know that the same area of just one football field can contain up to 95 termite colonies? That's why you need Breda Pest Management to defend your home. Breda, the official pest control of high school football.
Come over here.
.128 to go. Bowden on a 13-play drive. Wayne, they started the game with an 18-play drive. Now trying to finish this game with another epically long drive here. 13 plays to try to close out this game and seal their second straight state championship.
Previous run ended at 23. Half the distance is to the 11.5. First down.
That was the explanation on the penalty and why it was an 11.5-yard penalty.
Physicality has been the theme of the success of Bowden, running the ball with McGrin and Beasley.
And McGrin tries not to score and goes down at the 1-yard line. So I don't know whether Manchester was trying to let him score there so they could get the ball back. It would make sense, but McGrin was not having any part of it.
Great job,
Manchester. That's a third and final
McGrin right here. No, I'm not going in. You thought you were going to let me score, but I understand football, the football IQ of the senior right there. The star of the game for Bowden. After all this going on, for him to remember, don't score, get down right there. Don't worry about all the hype of getting the celebration. Getting the victory is what's key, and a great job right there of knowing where he was on the field and getting down, just getting the first down.
Yeah, tremendous awareness by Kyler McGrin right there, because it flashes open, and even I'm thinking he's going to score. And then you're thinking, no, he doesn't want to score. And McGrin was able to think that fast and slide down before he got into the end zone. So now all they have to do is knee this out. Manchester has no timeouts remaining. This game should in all likelihood end at the 1-yard line. And Bowden will finish the game the way they started it.
A physical drive. 18 plays to start the game, to go up first, and then a big drive coming deep in their territory to eat up the rest of the clock in this game to take home the victory.
And they go into their victory formation. I mean, this is the double victory formation right here. I mean, they've got two guys back 20 yards off the ball. McGrin takes a knee, and there's nothing Manchester can do about it. They'll have to snap it one more time. Although maybe it's just the old school in me. I'm a little nervous about taking the knee out of the shotgun.
I was thinking the same
Not
thing.
getting under center and just snap. That's still a little scary to me, but teams do it all the time nowadays.
I'm so scared when I see teams snap the ball back 4 or 5 yards.
So one more snap to go. They complete that. The game will be done. Again, a little low on that snap, but McGrin was sure to catch it. Flags come out. Guys are getting a little chippy out there. It's an emotional game. It is. Competing for the state championship, and that's going to do it. The clock officially shows 28 seconds. And the clock will start running again once they mark off the penalty. And Bowden is going to win their second straight state championship. What a job by Richard Finley. And Kyler McGrin, the man of the night for the Red Devils.
After the play, personal foul, defense, penalties half of this to the goal. It'll be third down.
And Wayne, just a tough situation for Manchester to be in coming into this game. I thought they played their hearts out.
Yeah, when you look at a game like this and a performance like Manchester put out there, there's a champion in Bowden, but there's no losers in this game. For that team to come out, play this tough, just so many hours after losing a fallen teammate in that community, showed the heart of the community, showed the strength of the coaching staff and team, and you have to tip your hat off. They gave Bowden all they wanted on their road to the championship.
It was a 1-point game when they played in week 1. It'll be a 1-point game when they finish it up here in game 15. And Bowden gets the revenge, and they get the state championship trophy. And I didn't think they were going to have to snap it again. But apparently they will have to snap it again, and now they do, and now that will do it. Bowden Red Devils, state champions in 1971, 1992, 2022, and now in 2023. 28-27 winners over Manchester in a heck of a ball game. We had two great Class 1A state championships here tonight. Prince Avenue winning for a second consecutive year. Bowden winning for a second consecutive year.
That man right there, Coach Rich Finley, his demeanor, his attitude really was reflected through his team here tonight. Tough, physical, downhill running, smart football, very few penalties. That young man right there, Kyler McGrin, leading his team to victory the way he has played all year long, a true dual threat quarterback that dominated this game tonight.
Coach McGrin, Coach Finley's workout partner in that legendary weight room for the Bowden Red Devils. You saw the friendly exchange by Coach Holmes and Coach Finley. Longtime pals going back to earlier in their career. They meet in the championship game here tonight, and Finley walks away with the trophy. What a pleasure to watch them play this game tonight. Just the physical nature with which they played. And you heard Nicky Noto-Palmer, tell you earlier in the game the story about how he decided that the weight room was going to be the linchpin, the foundation upon which he was going to build his program, because you can't really increase speed that much, but you can increase power and size and strength. He decided to go that way with his program, and the result is a second straight state championship here tonight.
And mental toughness, and those are the things that develop in the locker room, in the weight room. Who's willing to sacrifice, come in early, who's willing to do an extra set each and every day. As he was proud to say that Kyler McGrin is his workout partner. Guys like that setting the tempo. I can get you stronger faster than I can make you. I can't get you down to a 4-2.
Yeah.
But I can get your bench press up. I can get your squat up. And this team plays just like their coach exemplifies, just with a tough mentality about how they do things in Bowden.
Kyler McGrin came back to the school after his family had moved away to Alabama, comes back to Bowden for his senior year and gets to cap it off with the state championship trophy. What a fun night for the McGrins. His brother, the leader on the defensive side of the ball, and just tears of joy streaming down his face right now.
Just a great moment for a young man who really lived up. I love when young kids live up to billing. When you write down things like, I know this guy can't have these kind of numbers, and then they come and do it right in front of you, and that's what he did tonight. Over 200 yards rushing, leadership, toughness. When the team seemed like it was kind of fading, he had provided the energy they needed as well.
They're presenting the runner-up trophy now to Manchester and head coach Stephen Holmes. Like you said, I agree with everything that you just said a few moments ago. There are no losers tonight. Manchester, they did fall in the state championship game, but given the circumstances, they played their hearts out here tonight when a lot of people would not have excused them, or a lot of people would not have faulted them whatsoever if they had said, you know what, given the circumstances, what's happened with Brandon Smith, we're not going to play tonight.
Yeah, definitely being able to galvanize and take that trip and come here and focus in those kind of small community. I was raised in a small community. As I said, it's not just your relatives. Those kind of communities, everybody's family. You're one person removed from knowing everyone. And it's just a round of applause to that team for what they did tonight on the field.
Champions take the podium. Let's send it down to John Nelson.
Thank you very much, Matt Stewart. We're surrounded by red, but before we talk to our friends from Bowden, let's talk to our friends from Manchester. Just know that everyone attached to Georgia High School athletics and here in the state of Georgia loves you all very much. Fantastic season there in Manchester. And now it is time to present a trophy for the second time in 2 years to the Devils that wear red. And to do that, it's the Executive Director of the Georgia High School Association, Dr. Robin Hine.
Thank you, John. First, I want to add my congratulations to Manchester, and thank you to the crowd that's done such a great job in supporting your team all year long. And I also want to give a special shout out to Coach Holmes, who does such a great job and does things the right way. Thank you, Coach. But tonight, we're here for the second year in a row, Coach, to present you this great pleasure from the Georgia High School Association and Alpha Insurance to give you this state championship trophy. Coach, this is 2 years in a row. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm going to tell you, it's unbelievable, and I got a couple of thank yous. First of all, to the greatest fan base, to the greatest community in all of high school football. Those people up there will do above and beyond for our kids. Second thing I want to say is school board and our administrators. We've got the best school board in the state of Georgia when it comes to academic athletics. As Mr. Cowart, Glenn Hardy, and all those people at the school board, Jeff Bryant, Ramonica Stevens, two of the best principals around that know how to balance academics and athletics. Greatest coaching staff in the state of Georgia. We're not here if it's not for those guys that I've surrounded myself with. And last but not least, the guys who had it tougher than last year's team, because you've had a bullseye on your back all year. It was much harder for you. Now, hey, back-to-back state champs for this bunch right here.
So obviously you were looking at my notes about the questions to ask you here. I don't think a lot of folks know how difficult it is to go back-to-back. It was second time in 31 seasons when you did it last year. Now you're back-to-back this year. How tough was it with all these absences and this group of seniors coming through?
Well, it was extremely tough. First of all, it took us about a month to get things going the right way in the weight room. I was a little worried, just a little complacency, a little we've done it, we've been there. And then the 0-2 start, I'm just extremely proud that our kids trust our coaching staff. They trust the process of what it takes to be great. It's not something you win on December 11th. It started back in January, and this is the end result of all the hard work put in.
So now we officially get to say, one more time here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the Bowden Red Devils, back-to-back state champs. Send it upstairs to Matt Stewart.
All right, thank you, Nelly, and deserving, and some gracious words of thanks from Coach Richard Finley for his fan base who traveled well here and represented very well at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
And when he talks about a tougher path, when you try to replace 17 starters and go out, and he started off a little slow, dropped those first 2, but his tough mental attitude towards his team and this community seems to be all in helping this program grow and continue to win championships.
Wayne, it's time now to present our Georgia Cotton Commission Player of the Game Award, and Nikki Noto-Palmer is standing by to do that right now.
That's right, guys. Right now I'm hanging out with Kyler McGrin, who is our Georgia Cotton Commission Player of the Game. Kyler, your numbers speak for itself production-wise. You had 185 rushing on the ground, 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown. What can you say for your performance tonight?
You know, none of this would be possible without my team. You know, I just love them, and they have my back every time I do something good, every time I do something bad. They're picking me up if it's bad, and if it's great, they're right there with me.
Yeah, spoken like a true leader. Can you walk me through what was going through your mind when that fake field goal went your way?
Oh, that was amazing. Right there, I knew that's whenever we were going to get that win right there. I knew we had the chance, opportunity to drive it down the field and take a knee and win the game.
Kyler, back-to-back state champion, but most importantly, you are closing out your high school career. What can you say about the experience that you've had here as a Red Devil?
This is amazing. I know that they won it last year, and I moved in and I came in and we went all the way and did it again. And I just love this team and what we do.
I love it. What can you say about your weightlifting partner? That's your head coach, by the way.
I love that man. He's in there. He's in there every day, pushing me as hard as I can.
I was gonna say. I mean, he's intense as it is. I can't imagine what it's like to have to be that man's workout partner.
Yeah, I like it. I love it.
I love it. Well, hey, congratulations to you. We will be rooting for you and cheering for you for whatever next is to come in your career.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. That's it from down here on the field, Matt.
Thank you, Nikki. Wayne, I love this game tonight. I know you loved it, too, as an offensive lineman, the grinded-out mentality, the way Bowden started the game, the way they finished the game.
Physical, right in your face kind of attitude on the offensive and defensive line, and their leader, Kyler McGrin, shining as a bright star for them tonight, being able to run the ball inside and outside. Well-deserving team for a championship with Rich Finley.
Well, that's going to do it for day number 1. 2 days to go here in the Georgia High School State Championships at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And we will start at 11 a.m. in the morning with the Flag Football Championship, and then the AA State Championship game will follow at 1 o'clock. We also have 4 and 6 on deck for Tuesday as well. What a thrilling game as Bowden wins the state championship for a second consecutive year. They beat a tough Manchester team 28-27 to take home the title. And now for my partner, Wayne Gandy, Nikki Noto-Palmer, John Nelson, Hannah Gooden, our producer, Glenn Diamond, our VP of Sports, Kevin Gerke, our director, AJ Keene, our statistician, Kevin Barnes, our entire fabulous Emmy award-winning GPB sports team. I'm Matt Stewart. So long from the Benz. We'll see you back here on Tuesday.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is presented by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, reminding you to be safe on every trip. Buckle up, Georgia.
Riding down the road and you're doing just fine when a car in front of you crosses over the line. They're in your space, not looking at your face. Distracted drivers all over the place. Say, we will buckle up. Sing it. Say, we will buckle up.
This program on GPB is made possible in part by supporters of the Georgia High School Association, including the following.
Our #1 priority is protecting our players. That's why we're writing new rules for the sport and developing innovative educational tools that protect our athletes. This is player protection. This is high school football.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by DBHDD. Win by learning about safe usage of prescription opioids.
Half of the nation's opioid overdoses happen right at home because people don't understand the dangers of taking an Oxy or Perk with a glass of alcohol for stress or to sleep. Learn how to protect your family from opioid overdose at opioidresponse.info.
I think, yeah. I don't know about the TV, but the burgers are ready. Yeah.
Ooh, burgers,
All right.
burgers. I want a burger.
All right, I'll line up.